He has time, launches it to the end zone. Touchdown! Terrence Williams!
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3!
Welcome to Up Tempo on Sikkim 365 Radio.
Langoliers, base hit to center, and the Baylor Bears win their first Big 12 tournament championship.
Their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yep, just ready for OU.
You can't handle the truth.
Here's Drake Toll.
And we are live in the Petty Clinic Low T Bear Den. Aha! That intro, Forrest, man.
Gets me juiced every time, bro.
Forrest from the band
juiced.
services providing. Holy cow, you can't handle the truth. I love it. I love it. Big news today on a windy Thursday. Yesterday was a muggy Wednesday. Today is a windy Thursday. How about it? You go Ryan Pugh, the offensive line coach at Baylor. The bottom falls out yesterday. The rug gets pulled out from under you.
Quick switcheroo.
And look, Baylor is like a lockbox. They're your George W. Bush lockbox. You're not really getting in there. I said it's Al Gore. Your Al Gore lockbox. You're not getting in there to find out what exactly it was that made the university pull the plug, or if it was on Pugh's side. So now the speculation doesn't turn to what happened there. It turns to who's Baylor's offensive line coach?
Next man up. And man, if you're juiceless today, you're useless today. You got the bang, I got the coffee. We're ready to rock and roll, man. We're going to have O-line hire hopefully soon. And if not, it's wide open. We're going to have our pick of the litter, I would think. A lot of good candidates. I'm fired up, man. This has got me juiced. I honestly had my sights set on somebody else that I talked about on Twitter a little bit. So we're going to see if we get him or not.
Baylor is a beautiful place to be. So if you are an O-line coach out there and you're listening, go ahead and call Mac Rhodes, dial up Dave Aranda. Let's bring you on in here. But I tell you what,
or call 254-339-1122.
254-339-1122. That's the open phone line. You can get in on the action on the show. You can text us through that line as well if you can't call in today. I get it. People are at work, you know. You got a caller-driven show, and they say, look, hey, I'm at work at 11 o'clock. Well, shoot us a text. Listen in. And if you're on YouTube right now or Periscope or Twitter, whatever the kids are using nowadays, download the Sikkim 365 app, hit live, and you can listen to the entire show uninterrupted. So you say, oh my gosh, breaking news in the forum. Baylor may have just hired an offensive line coach, but I can't go look because I'm watching the YouTube for up-tempo.
Like an idiot.
Right. And now, but what can you do?
You freaking open the app.
You can go to the app.
You go to the app, boom, press play.
You can listen to it and then go to the forum.
You got an O-line coach.
You got an O-line.
Spreadsheets here. You got ball here.
You got breaking news there, breaking news here, the forum. Speaking of the forum, what do you say we give away some free forum passes? 1 month, free subscriptions.
You get a forum pass.
We've got the code. You can have the code
Armstrong
later on in the show. How about this too, guys? It's a big Thursday.
Yeah.
You see this right here? This little tumbler, this ice shaker.
Thursday.
It's a big Thursday.
We're not playing games here. Well, we are playing Bear games.
We are playing Bear games.
Bear games.
Later on in the show, we're going to have Tunes Thursday because Armstrong loved Music Monday to the point where we have had Music Monday every day of the week.
Why not?
So,
bring it on.
Mostly because Armstrong dropped the ball day one and played. Again, it was the
most difficult one.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
We went back into the catacombs, grabbed some Gordon Lightfoot records, and threw them out there for us. And it didn't work out.
To be fair, we both loved
it was
Gordon
it was Rod Stewart deep tracks. That's what it was.
he said, give me Rod Stewart, deep tracks only, no hits, and play him live for Drake, so he has no idea what is going on.
That's what it was.
Yesterday, you were what, 8 out of 10?
Yeah,
you were like unbelievable.
He killed it yesterday.
You were like Rain Man yesterday.
So we're going to try to do it. Jeopardy's at 9. Jeopardy at 9.
Love it.
How about this? Today's matchups on the Bear games. Aaron Jones and KJ Smith. Did we decide it's not KJ Smith? I think we decided it's not KJ Smith.
I think we decided it's X-Man.
We did decide Xavier Howard. What's
Twitter,
tough with that, you know, Xavier Howard had a better NFL career than he had college career, which that's fine, whatever. I mean, the dude's a stud, and now he's made a name for it. He's a household name in the NFL.
Yeah.
10 interceptions, first time since Cromartie in 2007. Aaron Jones, though, Armstrong, what did we find? Somebody on Twitter tweeted at Uptempo and said, hey, Aaron Jones, come on, guys. Aaron Jones is number 3 all-time in Big 12 scoring.
Yeah.
He is.
He's a guy that I had multiple people, when I ran this list across the experts before we actually put this out there, which obviously there were as many holes as there were. 2 other people were like, I don't know about Aaron Jones being there. Come on, man. This guy's the third leading all-time Big 12 scorer. Aaron Jones, one of the best kickers.
Third leading Big 12 scorer. You can't not put him in there.
You can't not put him in there.
So we didn't. But I'm really interested to see.
Okay.
We didn't not put him on there. But it's just tough because Xavier Howard, first, this poll is on Twitter, and Xavier Howard is like borderline trending on Twitter for having 10 interceptions in the NFL. So like, are you like, as a fan, I don't know if it's totally fair to have all of these different things on your timeline and then have to pick, like Aaron Jones. Like, I don't know when the last time someone really thought about Aaron Jones in a Baylor context. You know what I mean? Compared to Xavier Howard, who's just blowing up right now, it seems, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Most receptions in the NFL. I don't know. I'm interested to see what the fans think of this one.
I am too. A Twitter account under the name Aaron Jones retweeted it and said, at Xavier Howard, upset alert. We're still doing our research right now to find out if that was...
Not sure if that's actually Aaron Jones or not.
Can we get him verified? Can we get Aaron Jones verified? Aaron Jones, can we get you a blue check, my man?
I hope so.
He deserves
also,
a blue check.
I think it's the real Aaron Jones because he's got a picture on here of a bunch of Baylor Alamo Bowl rings, conference championship rings. So
but
this
his handle is at Stork the Dork.
Hey man, he's quirky.
Don't discount Aaron Jones.
Hey, okay.
So Aaron Jones, all Big 12, honorable mention in 2012 and 2013. Lou Groza Awards semifinalist in 2010. Freshman All-American honorable mention. All Big 12 or 2010 Big 12 All Freshman. All Floyd Casey Stadium team. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, can you be at All Stadium? We're going to see how much love we have for special teams in terms of followership for this program. Like, do people love kickers? Because he's third in Big 12.
Brandon Boyd says that was Aaron Jones' nickname from Art Briles, was Stork the Dork.
Okay.
Which
I'm
is...
sold.
Okay.
Let's do it.
He's 6'3", 190, so a lankier guy. I'm Stork the Dork.
Stork the Dork.
Aaron Jones coming for Xavier Howard's head today in the bracket on the Bear games. That's only the first matchup. We didn't get to the rest of these. This one, I'm going to skip over that one too. Sean Oakman and Trayvon Blanchard.
Again, a guy who's all Twitter.
If you line those two guys up one-on-one in an Oklahoma drill, well,
Taking Big Oakman.
I think I'm going to have to take Sean Oakman on that one.
Right?
Sean Oakman's leading on Twitter so far. And
He's been leading on Twitter, too, probably for, since we were in college. I was a freshman in college, at least.
Yeah. Antoine Goodley and Charlie Brewer. Yeah. Oh, baby.
The prodigal son.
Charlie, there it is. Stork the Dork, Aaron Jones, putting Xavier Howard on upset alert right now on
Stork.
blast on Twitter. How about it, man? Charlie Brewer back in action. None of these guys are in uniform, so I don't want to say in Baylor uniform, but Charlie Brewer against Antoine Goodley. And Brewer has the lead right now.
Yeah. Everyone at Baylor, it seems like, is a little bit missing their old QB1 a little bit. I know we got a lot of calls saying, hey, get him out of here. But now he's gone, and you want to vote for him on the Baylor second best. So
almost
how the turntables.
200 votes in, and Charlie Brewer 55.3%, Antoine Goodley 44.7%. And what's the tweet under that, Reed Armstrong from Up Tempo? Let's see. You can scroll that down a little bit.
Not exactly sure.
Read that out loud if you will, please.
It says, Up Tempo realizes that Antoine Goodley's name is spelled incorrectly. While we will not point fingers, this is entirely the doing of this man right here, Drake Toll.
Dang.
And all blame should be directed toward him.
To be fair, we all have passwords to that account, so it could be anybody in this room.
But we're not pointing fingers, but it's this guy.
Hey, when you point a finger, there's 4 more back at yourself. So if he's pointing at himself, then there's 4 more going
There's
other
3.
directions.
I mean, it depends on how you point.
Yeah, but I mean, typically, like.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, Armstrong, you always get it.
So how about this? Yesterday, we had a ton of talk about Ryan Pugh. We had the voice of the Troy Trojans coming on today at 11:30. That's scratched. It was a weird. That's good, Armstrong. It was a weird announcement. We were at the basketball game last night when the announcement did go out. Armstrong, if you can find it on Craig Smoke's Twitter, where he tweeted out the official announcement from Dave Aranda that was sent to all media. That was obviously very unexpected. It says, since the recent announcement of Ryan Pugh as Baylor's offensive line coach, I don't know if it was 24 hours in. It wasn't very long, but it says, since the recent announcement of Ryan Pugh as Baylor's offensive line coach, we have decided to move in a different direction. We're currently in the process of filling the resulting vacancy. We wish Ryan the best in his future endeavors. And we heard from Troy insiders that the guy had just been stand-up guy at Troy. So obviously, we can't pinpoint. There's a ton of speculation on social media over what exactly happened, but nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody's in Dave Aranda's head. Nobody's with Mac Rhodes right now. Nobody's with Jeff Grimes trying to figure this thing out and making a move. It could have literally been anything on the Baylor side or on the Ryan Pugh side. So you hate when speculation can tear somebody down. You don't want to see that happen.
And we saw the video yesterday from at practice. He was a football guy through and through. Like, you and I were both ready to run through a brick wall after watching that video. But I mean, all things considered, he still wasn't my first pick for the job. And I make absolutely 0 decisions on this, program or this coaching staff. But I had my eyes wandering to another coach/coaching staff. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll get my wish. Maybe I won't. But if you go to the premium Sikkim 365 website right now, there's a little bit of Easter egg for you there, if you want to go check that out.
Oh, an Easter egg on the premium account, and then you say, I don't have premium. Well, that's all right. If you call us right now, the first caller to call us right now will get a free 1-month subscription to Sikkim 365 and the forum. We can do that.
We can do that.
Not only that, we're going to play music Thursday later on in the show, and we're going to give away one of these ice shakers in the show. How about it?
We're drunk on power.
We are. If someone wins,
what else can we do here? Armstrong,
power.
What else can we do here?
If you
we can
win,
give away shirts too.
If you
we
call,
can give away shirts.
If
but we're
you
not
call
today.
right
We're not
now,
today.
254
Armstrong
339
will come to your house
1122
and have dinner with you and your family. If you're the 10th caller,
The 10th call. We only have 5.
We only have 5 lines.
Well, they got to be the 10th caller, so
All right.
looks like your dinner plans are.
Caller-driven show. We're giving a lot of stuff away today. We're playing a lot of games later on in the show as well. It's a big week. It's a fun week. And other big news, how about Baylor men's basketball last night? You and I was probably a little bit more on the trap game side of things than you were, but a 15-point victory. You said it. 24 is a lot.
24 would have been. I obviously still was too much, but I mean, I'm with you. I did not see a 16 point victory. I mean, how about Matthew Mayer from the bench?
Bang! Maceo Teague from deep.
Mayer just has no conscience too, which I absolutely love. Davion Mitchell, best on-ball defender in the country, and I don't want to hear anybody else tell me otherwise.
No way. And
he's
think about
unbelievable.
In a night where Jared Butler puts up, second half, he had 4 points. Let's see, for the game. Jared Butler puts up 8. Butler goes 2 for 10, 0 for 4 behind the arc, and you think, all right, when your quote-unquote best player has a night like that, then what do you expect? Your team's probably going to struggle. Struggle? No, you're not going to struggle when Matthew Mayer comes out and puts up 16 points. Maceo Teague puts up 17 points. Adam Flagler puts up 15 points. Those guys went absolutely unconscious. And it showed it's a next man up mentality, and this team has so much depth that they can't really be stopped.
Yes, and you mentioned it, when a guy like Butler struggles, you need guys that aren't starters to step up. Enter Matthew Mayer, who, again, has just absolutely no conscience. He's taking shots that no human should be able to make or should be taking, and he just pulls it with no regard for anyone in human capacity and just lets it fly. I love watching Matthew Mayer. I am kind of surprised he's not a starter, but again, Coach Drew makes a lot more money than me to make those decisions. But huge to have guys like that off your bench make enormous plays for you when your star player is just having a little bit more of an off night.
Matthew,
look at this. Boom.
Oh yeah, that was the best one. The step back, unbelievable.
Why would you have to feel so good about your shot to take that?
No holds bar.
Oh my goodness.
How about
I could watch that all day.
Mayer, Flagler, Teague combined for 48 between the three of them when Baylor puts up 76. Good game for the Bears. Defensively, Oklahoma shot 4 for 24 behind the arc.
There you go, baby.
That's not good.
There you go.
That's not good. How about this?
Stop and score, baby. Name of the game.
Joshua Jackson, you are on Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122. Welcome on to Uptempo.
I was just calling to say that Baylor will choke in the NCAA tournament like they do every year.
Joshua, is that all you had for us?
Thanks, Josh.
That is all I had.
All right, Josh. Everybody get a hit for Josh.
Josh, why do you say that, man?
Does he get a subscription or whatever?
No.
Yeah, he can. Josh.
I just wanted to tell JD that the SEC reigns supreme every year.
In basketball?
Football, basketball, baseball, it doesn't matter. You should know who this is, JD. Have a good day.
You know what? So I actually do know who that is now that I listened a little longer. That is one of my friends from Cornell, Spencer Klein-Peter. He's from Baton Rouge, and all I would hear from him all of the time when we're watching games, man, the SEC will be winning this game. Man, the SEC will be dominating here. I'm like, dude, the SEC isn't even playing. We're watching MAC on Tuesday. Like, what are you talking about? So he's got some bias. Again, that call come from Baton Rouge. We're just gonna let it slide. We're just gonna keep this thing rolling.
So offer is still on the table.
Yeah.
For the free subscription.
First caller in, free subscription to Sikkim 365 in the forums for an entire month. And you already say,
Why did he call under Josh Jackson? Okay, well, I guess we're moving on. But
that's for you to decipher.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, the first one to call in, free month subscription. You say, well, I already pay for a subscription to Sikkim 365. Well, that's okay. Under these circumstances, I know you have a relative. I know you do.
Yep.
That's a Bear fan that would love to come on these forums. And basically, if you go to this forum, you are already seeing that Baylor it's speculation still, but it's pretty knowledgeable speculation that Baylor is honing in on one offensive line coach in particular. And I would love to tell you who.
Yeah.
But it's on the forum right now, and you can go there for free.
Yeah. Colt Barber is, quote, 60% sure, which Colt Barber's 60% is worth probably like 110% of the average human being.
What a peculiar number.
Yeah.
60%.
That's more than half, though. That's more than half. In some colleges, that's passing.
We got Michael McDonough on the Restream chat line. Says, watching from YouTube today, love the show. Sent you a note about the Sark offensive strats. Also, Jack Wheeler says, I see you in the ATO jacket, Mr. Fraternity Man. I did. I took a step into the Greek world this last semester.
He teed it up for you there.
Ka-chow! James McGaw says, easy win. Thought 24-point spread as well, but we'll do that this weekend against TCU. And I don't disagree. TCU is not the best basketball team in the world. That's I just can't wait for Baylor to get into the actual gauntlet where you have Texas and Kansas and West Virginia and Texas Tech, and the list goes on of teams that are playing really well right now. But I'm fine with my Oklahomas and TCU, Oklahoma, Kansas State. I like playing those teams, Iowa State, but it's not like that all year.
No, and to win by 15, 16 points when Jared Butler scores 8. Imagine when how much do they win by if Jared Butler plays to his potential?
Well, how much?
Maybe 24.
Here's my question: how much do they lose by if Matthew Meyer doesn't flip and go off?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they lose that game without Matthew Meyer going off, but it's a lot closer. It's a lot closer.
We had Paul Bloss on the line right there. Sorry we lost you there, Paul. You can call back in 254-339-1122, the Impact Health Labs caller line. Other things today, so we had men's basketball last night, the 15-point win against Oklahoma at home, all-star game from Matthew Meyer. He was my player of the game because on top, how about this? On top of him putting up 16 points last night, which he seems to be doing pretty consistently now, putting up solid scoring, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Matthew Meyer had a pretty darn good ball game for Baylor last night. Go him.
You know the Drake song, 6 Man?
Yeah.
Because you're Drake. 6 Man like I'm Lou.
Matthew Meyer is not the 6th man, though.
6 Man like I'm Matthew Meyer. He should be the 6th man. He should be starting.
The 7th man.
I mean, it's easy to say that after he scores 16.
Who do you start Matthew Meyer over?
I know it was going to be the question. Okay, so who do you want to swap out?
Yeah, you tried.
That's tough. That's tough. I did try you, and I'm probably going to keep trying you if Matthew Meyer keeps putting up these kind of numbers. But all things considered, to have a guy like that coming off the bench is just an absolute luxury for Baylor. If he continues to play like this, he's going to be an absolute asset for Baylor down the stretch.
He did that in only 21 minutes last night. 1 steal. I gave him too much credit. 1 steal and 1 steal. I don't really. He played well.
That's one more than I had last
2 for 2
night.
at the free throw line. How about this? From U.S. Junior Hockey a couple days ago. Also, again, the offer still stands. Free subscription for a month for those of you who call the first caller at 254-339-1122. Free month subscription. You can give it to a relative. It's still the holiday season. It's a holiday season until it's still a holiday season. This here, I don't know. This gets my juices flowing, Armstrong. We played it yesterday. We're going to play it again because this may be it is my new favorite thing on the internet. I think everybody needs to see it. I think it needs to be broadcast on every television in the world because I cannot tell you, especially after the recent events, that I want to immerse myself in the true heart of what our country is, Armstrong.
1, 2, 3. You sacrifice attitude, USA. Oh, mama, don't you cry. Oh, mama, don't you cry. USA hockey is do or die. USA hockey is do or die. Take a hockey stick in my hand. Take a hockey stick in my hand. Go on off to a foreign land. Go on off to a foreign land. Play said I'd be a star. Play said I'd be a star. USA hockey will go very far. USA hockey will go very far. Take the Gatorade in your glass. Take the Gatorade in your glass. We just kicked your We just kicked your
They're nuts, dude. How long did that take to write, you think?
Oh, I don't know.
USA hockey will go very far.
It's not very complicated at all.
Very far.
Here's the deal, guys. You're looking right now and you're going, Drake, this is a college Baylor sports show.
Yep.
Why are you showing me hockey right now? Well, I'll tell you, there's a correlation here. There's 2 correlations. The first correlation being they're all in college,
right,
or in high school. So technically that's college sports. Yeah. The other correlation being this guy right here was one of 15 people. There are only 15 people invited to try out for the U.S. Olympic bobsledding team. That's real stat.
Thanks, man.
We're going to play Go for 3 later in the show in the Blonde Boys Power Hour where we break down some of the craziest stats in sports. But this guy, Olympic bobsledding. Unbelievable.
Drake. Thanks, Drake.
Got a call on the Impact Health Labs caller line, 254-339-1122. Caller, the auto screen failed, so we're coming into this dry bare bones.
Love it.
You're on with Up Tempo.
Oh, no.
I agree.
Hello?
A little bit louder.
It was from Anaheim.
Caller
too.
from Anaheim.
Anaheim, California.
Love Anaheim.
Caller name unknown.
Got nothing. I guess we
Hi, this is Ann. We're calling to let you know that your insurance subscriptions have.
All right, and we're
That's
done.
exactly what
Love
that was.
Anaheim.
All right. We've got Around the Horn today. Other things to talk about. Women's basketball tonight. Canceled against UConn in the wake of Kim Mulkey testing positive for COVID-19. Tomorrow, how about this for tomorrow? So we got some special guests coming on today. I know we haven't talked about our guest list yet. We got so much stuff here. I'm skipping over stuff.
It's a myriad.
Guest list today. Bruce Gietzen at 12:05, the voice of the Baylor Lady Bears, to talk about the cancellation tonight, alongside Bob Joyce, the voice of the UConn Lady Huskies. That Bob Joyce, he joins us as well at 12:05. We're going to do a little roundtable discussion with Bob and Bruce, myself, and Armstrong. And then Felicia Mulkey, she's got I don't know, it's probably a dozen national championships at this point.
Heavy
Felicia
fingers,
Mulkey.
very heavy fingers.
Heavy fingers, the head acrobatics and tumbling coach at Baylor. She was at Oregon prior to that. She has won every acrobatics and tumbling national championship that has taken place in America. That's true. That's
flipping awesome.
That's a real stat.
Flipping awesome.
Flipping awesome. Celebrity birthdays later on in the show, this day in sports history, and then take the three. So if I say take the three, what does that mean to you?
It means take a field goal. Or
Yeah.
it means
Okay.
Or it means you're wide open, shoot a three-pointer.
All right. Either or, yeah. I mean, what does up-tempo mean? Up-tempo can apply to multiple sports.
Yeah, we're a very versatile show.
We want to make things versatile. So
that's all we are.
All that and more coming on later in the show. We are going to hit a break and be right back after this we got Dexter from Anaheim, California here. Let's go ahead and get you in, Dexter. Let's see. You are on up-tempo. Dexter, can you hear us?
Hey, Dre, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. So, really excited about our new OC from BYU. And to celebrate, I did a little survey with some friends. Did some analytics. Would love to share the results. Anyways, I have a 61% of my out of 20 results said that they still think that BYU is a toss-up. One, curious what your guys' results are or predictions are for the BYU game.
And that's for Baylor BYU head-to-head next year?
Yeah, Baylor BYU head-to-head next year.
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Given that we just got their OC.
So I think BYU probably does get the nod right now, considering their season this year, and you got plenty of guys that are coming back on that squad. But they're also losing what seems like the catalyst in Jeff Grimes of that offense that was so dominant. And hopefully they're also losing Eric Mateos, the offensive line coach. If those two things happen, we've already seen how losing a coach, especially in times like these, can ravish an entire team or a program. So I give Baylor the nod in the case that BYU is stripped of coaches. I also think what matters a lot is those first two games for Baylor, where you really grind your teeth and test out your quarterback, because that's going to be a big competition.
Who will it be? That's the biggest question, is who's going to be playing quarterback for the Bears at that time, and how comfortable are they? Are we able to open up the playbook to a point where you can be multidimensional, or do you have to rely on the run game a lot? Which I wouldn't mind if we relied on the run game a lot with a guy like Jeff Grimes, because I think he's going to get a system in place that prioritizes running the football, which maybe I'm biased being a former running back, but I think that's really important with establishing a dominant offense. So all things considered, if the quarterback play is somewhat reasonable, I would be really excited about that game. Still think BYU probably has the nod, like you said. I mean, the season they just had is pretty phenomenal. So
yeah, it's still too early.
Probably knows Zach Wilson, though.
Still too early to tell, Dexter, but give me 50-50 right now. That's kind of where I am, because I think there's a lot of stuff you got to shake out with quarterbacks and things before then. Where do you sit?
Yeah, so I think we can pull out the win. I'm optimistic. I think next year we're going to come out strong, especially if we have a quarterback can throw over 30 yards, so that'll be nice. Yeah. And hopefully we see Zeno in there. But yeah, overall I'm optimistic. I actually got a second question for you guys. So my friends, they think that we're going to go 7-5 next year with losses to Iowa State, OU, Texas, Oklahoma State, and then we have a toss-up, BYU, TCU. What do you guys think about those predictions?
Wow, Dexter, I need to meet you and your friends, because I like this analysis you're bringing to the table here. I think the first two games are very Baylor in the last decade-esque with Texas State. We're playing in San Marcos, which is peculiar in itself, but I think that's an easy win. Texas Southern's an easy win. Man, BYU's tough swing on that one. So here's what I'll go ahead and do and break it down with you have wins against Texas Tech, West Virginia, Kansas, Kansas State. In that event, Baylor will have won 4 straight. In that case, I would not be surprised in the slightest to see Baylor beat Oklahoma State and TCU. But also, Dexter, let me say this. Okay, I don't guess the dates are on here yet. So yeah, you know what? They don't have the dates scheduled. So I think how you play out your schedule is going to matter a lot. But I agree. I think 7 and look, I would be happy with 7 and 5. Would you?
Dexter or me?
Dexter. Let's start with Dexter. Dexter, would you be happy with 7 and 5?
I would love 7 and 5. I have Aranda with a big smile on his face with 7 and 5. I think similar to what Rule did, going the second year 7 and 5. I think it'd set him up for success for who knows, maybe a Big 12 championship his third year.
All right, JD, do you agree? 7 and 5. We're happy with that.
I'm happy with that. I think honestly, the BYU game looks a lot more winnable when looking at these dates. I don't know how accurate they are, but you have Texas Southern September 11th, allegedly.
Oh yeah,
and then you have BYU October 16th.
So BYU's in the middle of the conference slate.
But like if that's the way it works and Baylor's playing well, I really think that's much more winnable for Baylor. Like you mentioned, if they have momentum, that's going to be huge. I mean, football seasons are so much about getting hot at the right time, and if you can catch BYU at the right time, I mean, who knows where BYU is at that point coming to McLean,
Words can be hard, man. I get it.
I'm phenomenal at words. I don't know what you're talking about.
Dexter, I'll say that. Oh, we lost him. I was going to ask Dexter to play our Bear games. I'll say this on the BYU game next year, October 16th, that being buried. I'm a lot more scared of BYU in week 2 than I am week 10. Yeah. I don't know if there's any logic behind that or if it's just like a gut feeling. But BYU is that program that, who are they? They beat Oklahoma State a few years. They beat a couple Power Fives.
They beat USC.
Wisconsin, where it's like, what are you doing, BYU? It's always the first 3 games of the year. BYU is like, all right, we're going to win. Yeah. And then they just win 3 or 4 more games.
They get them at home, though, too. Like, BYU is really dangerous at home. Coming to McLean could be a little different.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game, though. Like, that's a fun non-conference matchup to play BYU. I'm going to enjoy that a lot, I think. I'm Drake Toll. That's J.D. Pickell. We're hitting up near a break right now. Armstrong's Minute's coming up next, and then we'll roll into that break. This is Up Tempo.
The number 2 Baylor men's basketball team took care of business again last night and improved to 10-0, handling Oklahoma in Waco 76-61. Maceo Teague led the Bears in scoring with 17, but it was Matthew Myers' 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists that made the difference. Adam Flagler added 15 of his own, and the Bears defense held Oklahoma to just 4 for 24 behind the arc in the win. Baylor is now the nation's only team to win every game this season by 11 or more points, including 7 of 10 wins by 25 or more points. Elsewhere in the league, number 10 Michigan dominated number 16 Minnesota 82-57 at home. Unranked Louisville snuck by 19th-ranked Virginia Tech in an upset at home, and Virginia was back in action with a 70-61 win over Wake Forest. Off to women's basketball, the biggest game in the country, Baylor and UConn in Waco, that was slated for tonight has been canceled due to Kim Mulkey getting COVID-19. In football, Baylor head coach Dave Aranda released a statement last night that Troy offensive coordinator Ryan Pugh will no longer be joining the Bears staff as the O-line coach. The search to fill that vacancy continues. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on Sikkim 365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs. Even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on Sikkim 365 Radio. Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122. For your company's mass COVID testing, log on to impacthealthlabs.com.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now, back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell for the Blonde Boys Power Hour.
Come on!
I love it.
Petty Clinic Low T Bear Den. I'm Drake Toll. He's J.D. Pickell. Armstrong Sims is behind the mic.
That was in my ears for the first time. The Blonde Boy Power Hour.
Blonde Boys Power Hour. Just, woo,
that was
chills.
Like, I don't even need this anymore. It's gone anyway.
It's gone anyway.
Actually, I need that.
That was bad, yeah.
My mug. Highland Church. I don't go there, but I love this mug.
I love Highland. I don't go to Highland either.
Yeah.
It's a free plug.
Oh, really? Okay,
Armstrong does.
So there's the plug.
Oh, my goodness. The Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. Statman says, congratulations on the new Up-Tempo show. 40 points off the bench in the win last night. Baylor men's basketball has now won 36 of its last 40 games. Statman in Waco. Holy cow, man.
Rolling.
Baylor basketball is just good. They're good at
rolling.
basketball. I love watching good competitive athletics in general. But Baylor basketball is just a different breed.
I want to get a take from, I want us to do a poll at some point, because this is Armstrong's
Yeah, we can do that right now, actually.
thought, or I don't know if it's, like, what I'm about to say, I don't know what it is to you. Baylor being a basketball school, true or false, that's your dream?
Ooh.
And true or false, that's what's happening
What do you mean
right now.
dream? What do you mean dream? It's a reality.
It's true.
Is it
That's
true?
absolutely
okay,
true.
so that's a 2-part question. Okay,
I mean,
it's true.
Yeah.
In the state of Texas, they are a basketball school.
College basketball is my favorite sport. Like, I would prefer Baylor just for my own personal.
I think college baseball is my favorite sport now after hearing from Coach Rodriguez earlier this week.
Yeah, I mean, they're fun to cover. They're going to be good this year, too. They were good last year. They're going to be good again. I mean, call in and tell us that Baylor's a basketball school, too. I mean, shoot, if you want to get a shaker.
Baseball.
Or what are we giving away now?
softball.
Armstrong's dinner?
We are giving away an
We're not
ice
giving away
shaker.
Armstrong's dinner.
And I'll tell you what, we got T-Rex calling in on the line. T-Rex, that call is processing right now, and we'll, let's see. We'll make sure that comes through.
I think it's T-Rex's brother as well.
It may be, maybe Matt in D.C. How about this? Last night,
Yeah,
Baylor, Oklahoma, 4 for 24. Oklahoma behind the arc. Baylor was 10 for 24. Oh, geez, man. 76-61. Baylor wins by 15. Here we go. Maceo Teague.
Makes the hotline bling,
he
baby.
Got just that interesting shot for him, that kind of like shimmy, and then it goes.
I love his celebration, too. The Drizzy Drake. The
little, I like it.
Maceo Teague came right out of the gate with a 3 on the first possession. That was huge.
He said if I wanted to
Set
play
the
with
tone.
kids, I would have some of my own. Oklahoma.
Is that what he said?
I heard him. I was sitting courtside. I heard him say that.
What I'm saying is after the Iowa State disaster, that was still a win. But a disaster. That 3 right off the bat was huge.
He's so good.
I love Fran Fraschilla just tweets, who the heck is Matthew Meyer? Baylor men's basketball has more guards than Fort Knox, and this 6'9 junior is one of them. Fun to watch the massive growth and maturity of his game last night.
Yeah, he was even exciting last year.
good.
Like he was good for a highlight every
Heck
game.
is Matthew Meyer?
Yeah, I think everyone was saying that probably.
Yeah, that's true.
Last night at a certain point when he was just taking shots with no regard for human life at all.
Impact Health Labs caller line. Matt and DC, you're on with Up Tempo. Hey, and Dexter hung up on us. So Dexter, you can call back. We'll give you one too if you really want it. But Matt and DC, you just won yourself a free 1-month subscription to the forum to give to a friend or family member that needs it most.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for taking my call. JD, I just want to respond to Baylor being a basketball school. I think it's almost impossible for any school in Texas to be a basketball school.
Okay, thank you.
Because I say this,
thank you.
I can never name one. The problem, and this is what I still people don't understand with the attendance. It's not that the students of Waco don't want to come to games. It's that the state of Texas has zero college basketball culture. I remember sitting I used to live in Dallas, Fort DC, and I'd go out for the NCAA tournament every year, and they would always be on side TVs at a sports bar, and I never understood. I was so excited to watch the tournament in Baylor, but no one cared. And then I come out to DC. It's all ACC and Big East, and it's just diehard everything. It's a state of Texas culture problem. And then I'm sure, Drake, you could tell me, you probably have even more info since you're an active student, that why students don't come to the game. I know it's COVID this year, but in the past years with good teams. But I'm kind of over it. I mean, I want people to come out, but if they don't, they don't. But that being said, hit me with today's polls. What players we got on the board?
Yeah, I'll tell you this before we get to the player polls, too. I remember last year, the Kansas game for College Game Day, when it was max capacity, like 10,500, 11,000 people in the stadium. The next game was like a Monday, Tuesday night against Kansas State, maybe 2,500 people.
It's sad. It's
really sad. I don't know why students exactly don't go. Here's why they don't go. I'll say this.
So you do know.
Baylor is a Tier 1 research university. The students are constantly grinding on their schoolwork and understand priorities as education number one. Let's get to the Bear games today, though.
I don't buy it.
How about Aaron Jones or Xavier Howard, Matt and DC?
Oh, I'm glad you started off with this because this is not even a competition. What's blinding people right now is Xavier Howard's great NFL play.
Yes.
He's a great player, was a great football player at Baylor. But don't let just like all these Texas Tech Wes Welker fans were all about, you asked a Texas Tech fan, they didn't even know who Wes Welker was when he was at Texas Tech. He didn't blow up until he got the paper. Okay, and that's a fact. Wes Welker wasn't even all conference at Texas Tech. So that being said, Xavier Howard, great player, but only 75 career tackles and 10 interceptions, okay, versus 451 points scored by the all-time leading scorer at Baylor University, the kicker Aaron Jones. It's not even close.
Boom!
Okay? Not even close.
You can't handle the truth.
How much is being a kicker hurting him in this poll? Like let's just call a spade a spade. If you're a kicker, you don't get the same respect as skill position players.
People forget. That's the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, he was really good. Aaron Jones was really, really good. He's third all-time in Big 12 in scoring, and I can't get no respect. How about Antoine Goodley or Charlie Brewer? Oh.
It's got some feelings.
I'm going with Charlie Brewer because he scored touchdowns and he was a quarterback. Quarterback's always going to get it.
Sean Oakman or Trayvon Blanchard? And no, this is not in an Oklahoma drill because that would be unfair.
Oakman, because I'm too scared not to vote for him.
It's a good business decision. Good business decision.
Today's Bear game question of the day. You have one free throw for $1 million on the line, and one Big 12 football coach has to shoot it. Who's taking your shot?
Man.
It's only a free throw, but I can tell you this, Gary Patterson's airballing it.
Past or present?
Does it have to be football?
Present, and it has to be football. Present and
dang.
football. That's what makes it weird because there are basketball coaches that could do it pretty easily. I got Scott Drew in
It's
that.
past or present for sure.
It is present. It is present
It's
only.
present.
So Steve Sarkisian's on the board. Tom Herman is not.
Football coaches, right? Football coaches?
Yep, football coaches.
Assistant or GAs?
I will give you
Football.
Jens Danielson.
Yeah, you can say
Jens
Jens
Danielson is the lone GA that you can have.
Is he still?
I was going to say, because I'm sure there's some GAs or some assistant coaches that were like all state or all conference in, high school basketball at least, but they're just not coming off. They're not coming off the head, so I'm going to go with my guy, Dave Aran. I'm going to keep it at home.
Keep it at home. Dave Aran, he's got
a
that
shoulder
clutch
injury.
gene.
He's got a shoulder, but he does yoga every
Homer
morning.
pick.
Yeah. All right, Matt and DC, thanks for your call, man. We always love hearing from you. The regulars. Love it.
Hey, Drake.
Yeah, I'm here.
Your cup's on the way, bro. Don't worry.
I love it. Thanks, bro. Have a good day.
Appreciate it.
And Patrick is also on the Impact Health Labs caller line, 254-339-1122. Text us, call us. Patrick, you are on with Up-Tempo.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Patrick, welcome in. Let me ask you this, Patrick. I want you to win one of these right here. This is, I don't know if you can see it. I'm holding up an ice shaker. It's one of the fanciest little cups. It's like a $40 market value, retail value. I want you to win one of those. Do you want to win one of those?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, Patrick, here's what we're going to do. We play Music Monday, like, all the time, right?
Yes.
Like, that's the thing that we do is Music Monday. But it's not
Like most days
Monday.
of the week.
And Armstrong still loves the game so much that we are still playing, and it's Thursday. So, Patrick, I don't know if you've seen this game yet, but what we're going to do is we're going to play 25 seconds of music, all right? 5 songs. And in this 25 seconds, you get those 5 songs, you can guess the name of the song and the artist as well. So those are the two. There are 10 points on the board. 5 songs, 10 points on the board. He's going to play it 2 times. I have a pen and paper. JD has a pen and paper. Thank you, Armstrong.
Thanks, Armstrong.
And we're going to guess what these songs are. Are you ready to play?
Let's do it.
All right. Patrick is going up against both of the radio hosts. Patrick, if you can beat just one of us, literally just one of us, and I know, I don't think you're beating me, Patrick, but that leaves one of us.
I don't think you're winning a shaker.
If you can beat one of us, it's an ice shaker for you, Patrick. Let's
Armstrong,
hear.
you put the answers on here? You gave me one with the answer key.
Stop.
Oh,
Stop it.
man.
That's terrible.
Dang.
What a bad. All right, Patrick, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's hear it, Armstrong.
Waitresses practicing politics as a businessman.
Easy peasy.
All right, Patrick. How many do you think you have, Patrick?
You get a point for an
You get
artist.
2 plays?
Yeah, we'll do another play, but you get a point for a song title and then also a point for an artist. So how many points?
To be honest, I didn't know y'all were going to do them rapid fire like that. I thought we were going to do one,
Yeah.
do it, and then next one.
All right, we'll play it again. We'll play it
Patrick,
again.
this is
also
a
like,
tough
"Please
game.
ask
Be
my
ready.
question."
Patrick, this game is not easy. This game is built for the grown men of the music world.
And us.
I completely understand.
All right,
I know
Patrick.
this-
We're going to go through it one more time, and let me tell you, I am very sorry to say this. I'm going to go ahead and give it away. I have 10 points on the board. So
You need
Patrick,
10. You need 10.
We're going to play it one more time, and I am looking at JD's paper, Patrick. This is a very winnable game for you. A very, very winnable
Patrick,
game.
pack it up, buddy.
One more time, Patrick. Are you ready? Hit it, Armstrong.
Waitresses practicing politics as a businessman.
Okay. Patrick.
I think I have 6. So, Patrick.
Patrick, I need you to tell me how many points do you think you have?
Do I get points if I get the artist but don't get the song?
Yes.
that's
You
one
still
point.
get points. Yes.
You get 1.
Okay, cool.
Patrick, or do you think you've maxed out? Do you need to hear it one more time, or do you think you maxed out?
Man, well, if I hear it one more time, the other guys do too, huh?
That's
true.
true.
That's
This
true.
is a strategic play you can make right here.
That's true. How many points do you think you have?
I'll just go for it.
All right, Patrick, you start from the top and tell us what you got.
Okay, so the first one's definitely the Eagles.
Yes.
Correct.
I'm going to say, it's probably not this one, but I'm just going to say Hotel California.
There you go.
Correct.
Oh, where's my bell? Gosh dang it. You got that right, Patrick.
I can't stand that bell. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Let's see. The next one is David Bowie.
Oh, I do not have David Bowie. Armstrong, it's not David Bowie, is
That's
it?
incorrect.
Close, though.
You got a song title? Okay, next one.
Oh, man.
Next song. What you got?
I mean, is it called Just Give It a Shot?
No.
Close.
One hint, though, by the way, for everyone here.
Yeah.
If they say it in the song, it's a guaranteed not the title of the song because I will never put the song title in the clip. But all right, what's the third song?
Sounds like title. I'll give it a shot. Sounds cool. Next one is Sugar, Maroon 5.
Yes.
Correct. 4 points. All right, next one.
And then we got Billy Joel, Piano Man.
Correct.
Woo!
6 points.
He's at 5 points.
6. He's at 6.
You didn't get David Bowie.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's got two on the other
3 songs and 3 artists. All right, the last one.
Last one.
Can I get another play on that last one?
Oh.
You have to give the full play.
That's illegal. That is an illegal move.
You either get all 5 or none.
Oh, man. Man, that's probably going to be it for me.
All right,
guys.
6
6
points.
points on the board. JD.
We're 6-6 here, babe.
So, JD, what do you have?
I have Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer.
Correct.
Sugar, Maroon 5, Hotel California, Eagles. I did not get either of the last 2. I got nothing.
All right.
Either of the last 5.
All right, JD, what are they?
Patrick, I've got all 10. It's Hotel California by the Eagles.
Correct.
Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi.
Correct.
Sugar by Maroon 5.
Correct.
Piano Man, Billy Joel.
Correct.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
Correct.
By Elton John.
Correct.
All right. So
Wow.
Patrick,
There it is, Pat.
Patrick, I cannot give you an ice shaker, but here's what I can do for you. I can give you a free Sikkim 365 T-shirt if that's okay.
Man, I'd probably like that even better, to be honest.
Okay, Pat.
Bring it on, Patrick. Look, find me on Twitter, Drake C. Toll. My DMs are open. You shoot me a message.
I've got his phone number too.
Oh, you got his phone number. Perfect. We'll make sure you get that free T-shirt, Patrick.
Honestly, I was just calling to vote for my boy Antoine Goodley.
But then you came out with a T-shirt.
And you got drug into a T-shirt. Wow. Antoine Good. How about Aaron Jones and Xavier Howard? What are you going on that one?
Man, my boy Howard for sure.
Xavier
He's
Howard?
making major plays.
And then give me Sean Oakman or Trayvon Blanchard.
I'm going to go Oakman for sure.
Sean Oakman, and then one free throw for $1 million. One Big 12 coach has to shoot it. Who you going with?
I'm going Aranda.
Dave Aranda's sinking a free throw. You're winning $1 million and a Sikkim 365 T-shirt. Thanks for calling,
Heck yeah.
Patrick.
Thanks, guys.
There you go, Pat.
All right, we got Bernie on the line on the Impact Health Labs caller line. Bernie calling in to say, well, is Baylor a basketball school or not? Bernie,
find
you
out.
tell us.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just calling in to say I don't think you can really call yourself a basketball school until you at least get a men's Final Four appearance.
Uh-oh, Armstrong.
Can you
And
call
so
yourselves a women's basketball school?
I 100% agree.
Do what?
Can you call yourselves a Can we call ourselves a women's basketball school?
No.
Is that legal?
No.
Yeah, I think we already do.
You can only be one,
I
though.
haven't heard that. But, I mean, by that criteria,
If you're a
we
women's
meet that.
basketball school, you're not a football school.
yeah, I mean, you got to be one or the other.
gotta be
right?
one.
You got to be one or the other. I just know there's no movie made about
I'm not
high
saying-
school football or high school basketball in the state of Texas.
I don't claim that Baylor is a basketball school. I say they could be. We haven't even made the Final Four. We're not a basketball school.
How about this,
Well, we
Bernie?
have actually, haven't we?
Bernie,
I like the
Like the
idea.
50s?
Bernie, yeah, it's in the 40s. Bernie,
40s.
I've got this on the Impact Health Labs caller or the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. Armstrong is actively rooting against Baylor football in the name of Baylor being a basketball school. So let me ask you this then. If, say, like Kansas is a basketball school, say Baylor football tanks for the next decade, does Baylor become a basketball school outright because of football's lack of success?
I think it's a lot easier, but I still think at some point you got to make a Final Four. I mean, and even then it's kind of a stretch. You look at Tech, right? If you talk to Tech fans now,
I don't want to look at
they made a national championship appearance, and no one wants to talk to them. But if you do, they no longer care about football, it seems. But I wouldn't trade football success for, a Final Four. My question for you guys, maybe JD, is how many basketball titles in men's would you trade for one natty in football?
The limit does not exist. I would trade any of them. And that's, no, any of them. I promise you, I would trade any amount of basketball titles for a football championship.
I'd rather win like 20.
Yeah, yes, I would take it for football.
Strip 100%. Me from 2, I think it's 2-1 probably. I would rather, if you could say, hey, you can either have 3 men's basketball natties or 1 football natty, I'm taking men's basketball. In a decade, 3 national championships in a decade.
Yeah, I would still take football. I'm biased. I'm definitely biased,
Look,
but I would take football.
That would put
100%.
Baylor basketball a lot of national championships. That'd put you into blue blood, not just basketball. So that'd put you into blue blood level.
All right, let me give you these. Bernie, we got a couple other callers here on the line. Aaron Jones or Xavier Howard on our Bear games?
Ooh, I love the Stork, but I'm taking X.
Dang it. All right, Antoine Goodley or Charlie Brewer?
I'll go Chuck.
Chuck, baby. He's making a comeback.
Yep.
Sean Oakman or Trayvon Blanchard?
And I think we did Blanchard dirty, but I'll go Oakman there. If Blanchard had his senior year, I think I'd take him.
You have 1 free throw for you know what? I'm going to do it. Executive decision here, Bernie. You get $2 million if this shot is made. Which Big 12 football coach is taking that shot?
Give me Chris Kleiman. I think he might have ice in his veins.
Interesting.
Okay. That's a first.
Bernie,
that is a first.
I loved it. I loved that call. Thank you for joining Up Tempo today.
Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
You too. We've got Larry Hall coming on to vote for Sam. All right, Larry, welcome on to Up Tempo. What a beautiful Thursday it is, Larry. Good to have you on.
Oh, hello. It's Mary Hall.
Mary Hall.
What's up, Mary?
How's your little lamb?
Gosh, JD. She liked it.
Of course she did.
Sam?
It's hilarious.
Sam Hall is my grandson, and I'm very proud of him, and I would like to vote for him on the second best, whatever it is. My son is Mark Hall.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, what I want to do is vote for Sam Hall for the second best player at Baylor.
Miss Mary, I will give you 50 points towards Sam Hall. He plays tomorrow. His game is tomorrow, and I'm going to go ahead and write this down right here and make sure that I have it written. Your vote counts. Sam Hall, you heard it here first, folks. Miss Mary is taking Hall all the way to win this thing, right?
Who does Sam Hall have tomorrow?
Bryce Petty.
Okay.
That's wonderful. I hope he wins because he's an extraordinary man.
I know he's a great football player, too, that's for sure.
Miss Mary, have you ever met Bryce Petty?
Yes.
Is he a pretty good man, too, or not so much?
Yeah, he's okay, but he's not my grandson.
I was going to say that, too.
Correct answer. Correct answer.
Oh,
I was going to say Mary, that. You need to get that on the forum.
Now, let me ask you this, Miss Mary. And this is a tough question. I want to give you $1 million right here. I want to give you $1 million if I can, if that's all right. But one Big 12 football coach is shooting a free throw, and if he makes it, you win $1 million. Who is your football coach that's shooting for you?
Art Briles.
All right,
we'll take it.
You know what?
I'll take it.
Steve Sarkisian has a Heisman, and nobody's talking about it. Why is he not going to be someone that you?
Wow.
I think Art Briles would make that free throw.
Yeah. Miss Mary, thank you so much for your call today on Up Tempo.
Well, thank you very much. This has been fun.
This has been fantastic.
Yes, thank you, Miss Mary.
She might be the best caller we've ever had.
I think so.
All right, we've got how are you going to follow it up? But with our father, Jack Wheeler. Our that, father. Guys. Man, Mary Hall, grandma of Sam Hall, calling in to give Sam a vote for Baylor's second best. He's got a matchup tomorrow against Bryce Petty, and I that's an executive decision for 50 points right there. I love that.
Big one.
Can we clip that and put it everywhere?
Yes.
Not just somewhere, but I love that. That's what this show's about. We need more of that.
We do.
Jack Wheeler, good luck following it up, my friend.
You know, I don't know how I can follow up that phone call. I mean, there's nothing like the love of a grandmother for her grandson.
Boom. I love that. Jack.
I mean, that was fantastic.
That was wholesome. That was what I needed today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I know we're talking about this, but if you want to go by like, hey, we can't call ourselves a basketball school unless we've been to the Final Four. It says right here we were in the Final Four in 1948 and 1950.
That's what I've got. That's what we were just in our group chat talking about that. Yeah. I don't remember it. I don't know that Jack remembers it.
I wasn't there for it.
I remember seeing the banner.
The banner's there.
I wasn't developing eyelids yet, so.
Does that change your mind, Jack? Does that sway you in terms of picking between a basketball and a football school for Baylor?
Well, personally, I've always said I would rather be a football school, just because it's Texas.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think you'd
that's
be in the majority.
Sport you know.
Yeah,
you would rather be a basketball. But if it's hey, you can either be a basketball school or we're okay at a lot of stuff school, then I want to be a basketball school.
Yeah, I think most people.
If you can be either basketball or football, I'm going football.
Absolutely.
But I would want to be considered, if I can't be considered a football school, I want to be considered a basketball school. Arkansas is considered a baseball school. I don't want to be considered a solely baseball school.
No.
I want to win a natty in baseball every year, but I want basketball and football to have a lot of success too.
Yeah, all things being equal, the majority of people who care about their programs, who care about their athletic department, want the football program to be the front porch of the program, of the school. Because that's what most successful programs that are in most successful athletic programs have going for them, right? Like you think about Georgia, you don't think of the gymnastics program, which is great, but you think of their football program because they've been good historically, and that is what people pay big dollars for. Those are the high-earning schools or high-earning programs.
All right, Jack Wheeler, we've got the Bear games today. Aaron Jones or Xavier Howard?
I'll go Aaron Jones.
Yes, yeah, you are. Nobody else is because people can't get no respect. Antoine Goodley or Charlie Brewer?
Gabby Chuck.
Charlie Brewer making a comeback. Sean Oakman or Trayvon Blanchard?
I will tell you, Trayvon Blanchard's a lot of fun, but the first time I met Sean Oakman is the first time I've ever felt small in my entire life. So I'm going to go Sean Oakman.
Sean Oakman gets the nod.
That's enormous.
From Jack Wheeler. Sean Oakman's a big dude. Jack, fate of the world. Lasers, all the lasers in the universe pointed at the world, and the entire planet blows up if this shot is missed.
These stakes have gone up so much.
But if it's made, you win $10 million. Who is your Big 12 basketball coach that's taking a free throw for the sake of the entire world?
And 10 mil.
You know, there's one person who I think it should be. And that's future University of Michigan head football coach, Matt Campbell.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
They just extended Harbaugh.
Matt Campbell's taking the shot for you?
He said it's not, right?
Or he's
Matt
not?
Campbell will take the shot for me. He's going to be the next head coach of Michigan. You can book that.
How much money are you giving Matt Campbell when he makes the shot for you and gives you 10 mil?
Gives me 10 mil, I'll give him 2 mil. He's going to get a bigger contract.
He makes twice that a year, Jack. You don't have to give him anything.
It should be noted, Jim Harbaugh
That's true. I don't. I'll give him a penny. Why not?
This guy's giving him.
He got enough money.
He's got plenty of money. Jack, thanks for your call on the Impact Health Labs caller line. Sick'em Bears, yeah?
Sick'em Bears.
I love it. Oh, man, what a full slate of callers we had today. You love to see that on Up-Tempo, caller-driven show, fan-driven show. It's not my show.
It is my show, actually.
It's JD's show.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. I'm Drake Toll. That's
Joking,
JD Pickell.
not my show.
Armstrong Sims is behind the mic and producing. I tell you what, we have so much stuff that we have not gotten to yet. But up next, we've got Bob Joyce, the voice of the UConn Huskies, and Bruce Geetson, the voice of the Lady Bears, coming on to talk about tonight's cancellation. One of the biggest in the nation. Blonde Boys Power Hour, baby.
Love it.
Come on with it. We'll be
Love
right
this. Love
back
y'all.
after Armstrong's Minute and a quick break on Uptempo.
The number 2 Baylor men's basketball team took care of business again last night and improved to 10-0, handling Oklahoma in Waco 76-61. Macio Teague led the Bears in scoring with 17, but it was Matthew Myers' 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists that made the difference. Adam Flagler added 15 of his own, and the Bears defense held Oklahoma to just 4 for 24 behind the arc in the win. Baylor is now the nation's only team to win every game this season by 11 or more points, including 7 of 10 wins by 25 or more points. Elsewhere in the league, number 10 Michigan dominated number 16 Minnesota 82-57 at home. Unranked Louisville snuck by 19th ranked Virginia Tech in an upset at home, and Virginia was back in action with a 70-61 win over Wake Forest. Off to women's basketball, the biggest game in the country, Baylor and UConn in Waco, that was slated for tonight, has been canceled due to Kim Mulkey getting COVID-19. In football, Baylor head coach Dave Aranda released a statement last night that Troy offensive coordinator Ryan Pugh will no longer be joining the Bears staff as the O-line coach. The search to fill that vacancy continues. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on Sikkim 365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs. Even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrapped fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrapped fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on Sikkim 365 Radio.
All right, we bring it back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I'm Drake Toll on Up Tempo, joined by two guests that were supposed to be in the Farrell Center tonight for one of the biggest games this entire season of women's college basketball. That's the voice of the UConn Lady Huskies, Bob Joyce, and the voice of the Baylor Lady Bears, Bruce Gietzen. Baylor and UConn, number 3 versus number 6 tonight in Waco, canceled in the wake of Kim Mulkey testing positive for COVID-19. We got both of these guys on the line right now, joining us as guests. Thank you both for being here. Bob, we'll start with you. You were supposed to be on a plane heading to Waco and getting ready for one of the biggest games in the nation.
Actually, I was going to be here in Hartford calling the game remotely.
You're kidding. Come on now.
We're not traveling at all this year. We've made a decision on the network not to broadcast any road games live. We're going to be doing it all from our iHeart studios here in Hartford. So, it's a different look this year. It's a different feel, but I was excited to see the first test for the Huskies, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen now.
I can tell you this, Bruce Gietzen on the line with us. Bruce, you weren't supposed to be on a plane today, were you?
No, I was going to take a short trip to the drills. I'm pretty excited here. You got two guys with faces made for radio.
That's right.
Is it not 3? Are you not looping me into that as well?
No, you're a TV guy. You're a young fashion guy, and you're on TV and radio, man.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it both here. The hybrid on Up Tempo. So, Bob, we'll start with you, and thanks for joining us today, talking from the UConn side of things. A season so far that's gone so well. Top 5 team again. This is nothing new for you guys, and now you've got a chance to really put the nose to the grindstone and face a Baylor squad, one of the best in the country. It was going to be a test for both teams, even though we're just in the middle of the season, on how well these squads will play in the postseason. How big of a measuring stick would this game have been for the UConn Lady Huskies?
It would have been significant, Drake. No question about that. I mean, the Huskies now have lost 3 top 10 opponents. They were supposed to play Mississippi State game 2 of the season at Mohegan Sun Arena down in Uncasville, but the Huskies came up with COVID and also washed away their game at Louisville. So the kids were amped up. And talking with Gino this week on his coach's show, and even just with the regular media, he mentioned that this was their best week of practice leading up to a game because they basically knew if they're not ready, they could get smoked. So when Gino broke the news to him on Tuesday after practice that the game had been canceled, there was certainly some disappointment, but now it's just a long wait. I mean, they haven't played since the 29th against DePaul, and they'll play Saturday. And then as of right now, they won't play again until the following Saturday. So this is just unique times, obviously, with everybody dealing with COVID in some way, shape, or form. But it would have been exciting to see some of the great matchups that potentially we could have had. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, Bruce, the same question for you on the other side, because it applies. Both of these teams are contenders for a national title this season. Baylor's coming into this game expecting to see, okay, where do we match up with a top 5 team at home? We saw them play at Arkansas, a really good Arkansas team, but now you get it in the Farrell Center where the first 2 rounds of the tournament should be, pending what they do for COVID. But you have that game pulled out from under you, and now you don't get that test to see where you match up. It's got to be demoralizing for a program that was ready for a huge matchup at home.
Well, the coaches have been trying to prepare them all season long, Drake, that because of COVID and the situation, you're going day to day. You don't know what's going to happen the next day or 2 days later or 3 days later. And, we've said, are you looking ahead to UConn? They say, no, who knows what's going to happen then? And just coaches always say, take it game by game in this conference. But I think this would have been a good measuring stick. We lost 3 starters last year, had some new players coming in. And I asked Kim last week, I said, are you happy with the progress your new players have made? And she said, for the most part, yes, pretty much so, especially Gusters and Sarah Edwards, the two freshmen. They have exceeded expectations, and Carrington has come on, Dejanay Carrington, lately. So I think she was looking forward to it, and the players were, for the same reasons that Bob was talking about. You want to know how good you're going to be, because now from here on it's conference. Baylor's been dominant in the conference, but this would have been a good test to see. And this has been a heck of a series too for these two teams. 4 wins apiece. There aren't many teams that Gino does not have a winning record against, or coaches, and the same way with Kim.
So, Bob, from a fan standpoint, not even from a broadcaster or a UConn Husky Baylor Bear standpoint, you just, as a fan of good basketball, people were excited about seeing this game. UConn's got 3 players on the midseason watch list for the Wooden Award, and then Baylor's got Nalissa Smith. Obviously, you were going to see the best talent in the country on the floor tonight, and now the nation as a whole doesn't get to see a big matchup.
Welcome to COVID-19, and it's been the same way with a lot of conference opponents. Drake, I mean, Jeff Walls, the Louisville coach, and Gino have been going back and forth about trying to figure out a date to possibly make up their game, but because the conferences are dealing with COVID the way they are and the schedule's getting all screwed up, it's hard to do. I mean, half of the Big East right now on the women's side is dealing with COVID, so it would be very hard to make up. Now, the thing that obviously, as a fan, you want to see these great matchups. And this is why UConn schedules the Baylors and the South Carolinas and the Notre Dames when they were good. That's changed a lot, hasn't it? Right? And Louisville. I mean, and I'm taking I think Muffet sold their soul to the devil, but that's another story for another time. But yeah, I would have liked to seen Paige Beckers in her first major road game against a top 10 opponent. I would have liked to seen how Olivia Nelson-Adota has grown by leaps and bounds this year alone from last year, where she was 0 for 9 against the Lady Bears last season. How Kristen Williams has matured. I would like to have seen how Avina Westbrook, who continues to improve game by game after not having played for almost 2 years because of knee problems, how she would have adjusted to that. And some of the younger kids too. Paige Beckers, of course, I mentioned, and Aaliyah Edwards. People are going to love this kid. She's a young lady out of Canada. She's like a bull in a china shop, an old school post player who's not afraid of contact. And it just would have been fun to see the matchups. And unfortunately, we're not going to get that. And now for UConn, they've got to wait now another month. Yes, Tennessee's on the schedule, but they're not ranked. But as it stands right now, the only other non-conference game they're going to play this season, it stands right now, other than Tennessee and UMass Lowell, which was the opening game of the season for them after the adjustments, will be South Carolina in a month. So we don't know. I mean, the Big East hasn't really been much of a challenge so far, but we kind of expected that going in. It's kind of a wash between the women's basketball, the American and the Big East.
Bob, is it fair to say, Drake, I'm jumping in here for a second.
Come on.
Is it fair to say that Gino reloaded this year and this year's team can be better than last year's?
I think in some ways, yes, Bruce, it is. I mean, some people might call it addition or subtraction by addition, but I think in some ways they're not. The one noticeable difference right now, they're not as good a perimeter shooting team as they've been in the past. Traditionally, UConn's in mid-40s to near 50%. They're usually among the top 3-point shooting teams in the country. Right now, they're not. They're shooting just 33%. And I'll give you a great example of it. They had a lot of open looks against DePaul their last time out on the 29th, and all it was clang, clang, clang off the rims. I mean, you have great opportunities to really blow DePaul out. They end up winning by 22, 24 points. But in some ways, yes. But when you have a young team, Bruce, you also can suffer on the defensive end. And I think right now that's still a work in progress. It's going to be. Although Doug Bruno, the DePaul coach, mentions to UConn, their defense is their dirty little secret. I mean, they held a DePaul team that averages close to 90 points a game to 52. Mm-hmm. It's been a while since DePaul's been held to 52 points, and their helter-skelter racehorse style of basketball. But, I don't know if I can answer that accurately right now, Bruce, because we just haven't seen them play against a big-time opponent yet, and that's the one missing ingredient. But Gino reminded the media on Tuesday that, in 1995, when they won their first national championship going undefeated, they only played, I think, 3 major opponents North Carolina State early, Kansas in late January, and then, of course, their first meeting with Tennessee. So, the balance is so much better, but I would have liked to have seen, this game tonight. And who knows what's going to happen in March? Who knows if we're even going to have a March Madness this year? I mean, it's minute by minute, day by day. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And then, Bruce, on your side, obviously these teams, and I've gotten to know the personality of Kim Mulkey and how she views games. If you'd asked her 3 weeks ago about the UConn game coming up, she wouldn't have answered a single question about it. She wasn't looking towards that. She's going to face it opponent by opponent by opponent. But for you as a broadcaster, you're obviously circling the big games early on in the schedule, even with COVID and the chance that things could be moved around. This was a big game for you and the basketball side, the basketball fan side that you carry.
Well, there was a neon flashing light on January 7th for the UConn game since the schedule was first released. I had friends calling me asking if I could get them tickets back in September.
Wow.
And it wasn't going to happen because of the COVID restrictions. But I think a couple of things, like what Bob was talking about on defense. The last two times Baylor beat UConn, held the Huskies to under 30% shooting. So far this year, in the two conference games we had before the break, and then also in the recent one against TCU, they've held each of those opponents to 28 or 29% shooting. So Kim Mulkey wants her team to feast on defense and rebounding and holding the opponents. And so I think that would have been one of the key things coming into this one if we'd played tonight. Could Connecticut shoot, and could they get that shooting percentage up? And then the other thing I think too, it would have been a neat to see a matchup, D.D. Richards guarding Paige Beckers, the super freshman, and see, and there's a lot of pressure on D.D. to take that top defensive assignment and then turn around and run the point coming the other way. There's a lot for her to do, but I was looking forward to seeing Paige Beckers. I've heard so much about her and seeing how D.D. Richards and Paige Beckers matched up. And of course, Gino and Kim, I mean, they have a mutual respect for each other. They like each other. Gino might have got another standing ovation from the Baylor crowd. It would have only been 2,000 fans, but he might have got a standing O, and he likes that, right, Bob?
Yeah, he gets a kick out of it. He didn't really understand it the first time that they played down in Waco, but he appreciates it. And the fact that the Baylor fans appreciate what he's done for the game, what the late Pat Summitt did for the game when she got standing O's down in Waco. Yeah, they understand it. They get it. And, say what you will about Gino being a wiseacre Philly guy, but he knows what he's doing when it comes to X's and O's and dealing with people. I mean, he doesn't treat everybody the same, but he pushes their buttons the right way to get the most out of them. And that's what all good coaches do.
Wow. I'm Drake Toll here on Uptempo, joined by the voice of the Lady Huskies from UConn, Bob Joyce, and the voice of the Lady Bears, Bruce Geets. And this is awesome, Armstrong. We've got a whole roundtable with some women's basketball legends in here that follow the very best teams in the country. And Bob, on your side, give me the read right now that you have on the just everything around the UConn program that you've heard this week, whether it be from fans, players, Coach Ariema. Take me inside of UConn women's basketball this week in the wake of the game being canceled and what the attitude is based around that.
Oh, it's disappointment. I mean, you want to play the best. You want to be tested. I mean, that's why Gino schedules these games, to see where his teams stand and getting them ready for the month of March. And obviously, it's a big disappointment. It's a big letdown for the coaching staff, the kids, and the fans, obviously, because you want to see what Paige Beckers would do for the first time against a top opponent, what Aaliyah Edwards would do, and the aforementioned names beforehand. So, yeah, it is a big deal. But now you instead of waiting 8 days between games, now you're waiting 11 games, and then you have to wait another week to play another game. And that's just the situation that we're in right now. But hey, you got games to play coming Saturday. You get Providence in here. It's a game, chance to get better, and that's how you have to look at it. Unfortunately, everybody's in for disappointment. I mean, I was set to do a women's basketball game today. That got canceled. So I was going to do a hockey game with our UConn hockey team today. Last night at 7:30, that got canceled because a member of UConn's hockey team got tested positive for COVID. So, yeah, it's just a big letdown right now. It's almost depressing to the point where all this game prep that you do, you basically have to rip it up, throw it out, and start all over again. But, yeah, everybody's disappointed. Absolutely.
So, Bruce, I think things probably look different. I know they look different on the Waco side and inside the women's basketball program at Baylor when you get the news that Kim Mulkey has tested positive. The game against UConn is canceled. The game against Kansas State is postponed. A lot of moving parts and a lot of questions and up in the air. Is it the feeling of disappointment that is dominating the program and the surrounding people within the program, or is it the feeling of, man, we're just confused and don't know what comes next? I think we got you on mute there, Bruce. The audio is not quite coming through all right.
Try. Okay, now can you
there
hear
we
me?
got you. There we
All right.
got you. So disappointment or just confusion right now?
I think disappointment that you're not getting to play UConn. They look forward to this matchup. I know Dee said she didn't really consider it a rivalry yet because they don't play every year, but it was a good matchup against a top team. But I think even overriding more than that is, the Lady Bears, they're working through some COVID things themselves, and they want to get back on track with that. And then also, it really is, it's a cliche, but you're having to go day to day or every 2 or 3 days at a time to see when your next game is going to be. And that's so unlike what it's been for both these teams in the past and for all college basketball teams. So disappointment, I don't know if confusion is the right word, but I'd say that just trying to manage your expectations are different. Kim has said over and over, it's hard to coach this way. You don't know what you're going to have each, from day to day and week to week, and you just do the best you can and pretend like things are going to go as scheduled. And if they don't, you're ready to shift gears on it. And UConn's had more issues with that than Baylor has. I thought it was interesting that, Bob, when you were saying, they want to play the good teams, Kim and Gino are in the same mold on that. He want to play those tough games to get ready for postseason tournament. We played Arkansas and didn't do very well in that one, lost that one. South Florida's got a good team, went down there and beat them. Right. And so even though those games came earlier than you expect, you normally get 8 or 10 or 12 non-conference games in before you start conference. Kim has always aimed toward conference, but she likes a few of those tough games. And I think in her own way, she was looking forward to this too, just as a measuring stick. And she likes to see Gino. And who doesn't like a great game like this?
Yeah, and I'll to include stuff there, Bruce. I don't know what the protocol is down in Waco. I mean, you're having fans at games. We don't have fans at games this year. I can give you an example. Anna Makarat, the young lady out of Poland, came to school. She was in the best shape of her career. And then when you get to campus, they basically, along with the whole student body, had to quarantine for 14 days. So that has an effect on how your team operates and how people react to it. And then, of course, you're building up towards the opener. And 4 days before you're supposed to open the season, a tier 1 member of your program or two have COVID, and suddenly you have to shut down. Now, I'm going to emphasize it was not a coach. It was not a player. It was somebody else within the group. But, and you can do everything right, but it still doesn't guarantee you're not going to get this. So for UConn, it's just kind of been a roller coaster ride of emotions and how they handle it. The players have actually been really, really good. Gino has been the one that's been kind of depressed about this because he's never had to deal with this. But the players are upbeat. They've been trying to keep him upbeat, get back to work and just grind away. And that's what they've been doing. And you just have to, hour to hour, day to day, it's, nothing's a given right now. So you make the most of what you have and you play whoever you get right now. I guess that's the bottom line.
And we hope we get to meet you guys in San Antonio in March.
Well, if it's in San Antonio, wherever it may be. I'm sure they're working on some bubble things and different options they're trying to go through with the NCAA to have March Madness on the women's side, similar to the men's, as safe as possible. All right, so, wow. Armstrong, excited to have both these guys on. The voice of the Lady Huskies, Bob Joyce. The voice of the Lady Bears, Bruce Gietzen. Two legends in their own respects at their respective programs.
Legends?
Oh, absolutely. Wow. Look, as much research as I did before this interview, and I still missed the fact that Bob Joyce would not be in Waco tonight. It just, that disappoints me more than anything. But I've got a couple of Bear game questions that we finish up every interview and guest with. Now, Bob, these are all Baylor-related questions, and I know that you have followed the last decade of Baylor football very closely. But I will exempt you from these questions considering their nature. That said,
we played a home and home with Baylor not too long ago.
Okay. Well, look.
And UConn won both games.
So here's what I'm gonna do then. I'm gonna give these questions to Bruce, And then you can override him on any of these, but I'm going to allow his vote to count for yours as well on these, is what I'm going to do.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I can handle that pressure.
Yeah, so now you get twice the votes. We've got a Baylor second best bracket. Bob, RG3 won the Heisman. So if we were going to make a bracket of the best Baylor football player in the last decade, it wouldn't be fair to anybody else. We had Sweet Sam Hall's grandma called in our show earlier to talk about how her grandson should win the bracket. Maybe my favorite part of the show we've had all week. And if RG3 was in here, that just wouldn't be fair. It just, to the people like that. So, Baylor's second best. Bruce, would you vote for Aaron Jones or Xavier Howard?
Howard.
Going Xavier Howard. Bob, are you going to override him on that?
No. Honestly, the only player that I do remember by name-wise would be RG3.
How about this, Bruce? Antoine Goodley or Charlie Brewer?
Brewer.
Charlie Brewer. He's in the lead right now. How about Sean Oakman or Trayvon Blanchard?
Who came up with this list?
Yeah. They're not easy. Bruce.
Sean Oakman or Blanchard?
Blanchard. Blanchard. All right, and then here's my trivia question for you, Bob, because I didn't want you to feel left out right here. A lot on the line. Where did Kristen Williams play high school basketball?
Well, she's from Little Rock. I don't remember the high school off the top of my head. I just know she's from Little Rock.
She's from Little Rock, Central Arkansas Christian. I watched her in the state. So I'm a Central Arkansas native. I watched her in a state championship basketball game where the opposing team double-teamed her the entire game, to the point where she stood at the half-court line, and they left 2 defenders on her at the half-court line and played the entire basketball game 4-on-3 in the state championship, and Kristen Williams still won a title her senior season.
How many points did she score?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, look, I'm the one that asked the trivia questions. You can't go tossing my trivia questions back
question
to me.
in there somewhere.
Oh, my goodness. All right, and then, Bruce, this is the last one of our Bear games. You have one free throw for $10 million, and you have to pick one Big 12 football coach to shoot it. If he makes it, you get $10 million. If he misses it, you go home empty-handed. Who are you picking?
One Big 12 football coach.
Yep.
I'm going to take Dave Aranda.
Dave Aranda is shooting Bruce Geetson's shot. And Bob, I'm telling you, I'm not letting you feel left out again. I'm coming back to you again. I'm giving you Kim Mulkey or Gino Auriemma. One shot, $10 million. Bob, who's taking your free throw out of those two?
Kim
Mulkey.
Although Gino's good at the mid-court shot, I can tell you that.
Okay, so if it's a half-court shot, we're going with Gino. But if it's the free throw, Kim Mulkey, the star at Louisiana Tech's taking the shot. Bob Joyce and Bruce Geetson are both going home with $10 million apiece. Congratulations, you guys, and thank you so much for joining up. Thank you so much for joining Up Tempo today. Sad that the game got canceled tonight, but glad to have your perspective on to talk about what would have been and the crazy, crazy season that 2020-2021 has been. Thank you guys so much for joining Up Tempo.
Yeah,
Thanks,
stay positive, test negative.
That's right. Good one. Good to see you, Bob. Thanks.
You too.
Great to have
legendary Bob Joyce.
That's right. Wow, great to have those guys on Up Tempo. Armstrong, thanks so much for setting that up for us. The round table with 2 guys that are staples in women's college basketball in a game tonight that would have been awesome. We won't get to see that, but hey, we'll see Baylor women's basketball back in action as soon as it's safe to do so. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. This is Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
It It takes time to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money, and you deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And Tom Albers, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help. If your financial investments aren't putting forth the effort you desire, stop by today for a financial review. Tom Albers, 4301 Lakeshore Drive, 254-776-7605. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to Sikkim 365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jeweler, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs, too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on Sikkim 365 Radio.
All right, folks, bringing it back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bear Den. I'm Drake Toll alongside Armstrong Sims. Breaking news, we have that Baylor will bring on Eric Mateos as the offensive line coach. Mateos coming from BYU, worked for Jeff Grimes, under Jeff Grimes from 2019 on, the O-line coach that many people had at the top of their list to hire in that position. He will be replacing the formerly announced Ryan Pugh as the O-line coach. He coaching experience 2011 and on BYU offensive line. Before that, he was at Texas State. Prior to that, LSU tight ends coach, offensive line GA. At Arkansas, the offensive line GA, and had hands in one of the biggest offensive lines in the country at Arkansas, Hutchinson Community College and Southwest Baptist. Eric Mateos, formerly of BYU, coming over to Baylor to coach with Jeff Grimes, Dave Aranda, and the Baylor offensive staff. So some things have been kind of thrown just awry right now because you had Ryan Pugh listed there. The announcement comes out last night that Baylor, with everything under wraps, they didn't release anything other than the fact that they would not be hiring new offensive coordinator or the new offensive line coach Ryan Pugh. And now we get the announcement via Colt Barber that Baylor will bring on Eric Mateos as the O-line coach. So here's what we've got right now that we're going to run. A video from Jerem Jordan at BYU, who joined us earlier this week to talk about Grimes, So Jeff Grimes coming from BYU, one of the best offenses in the entire country. And here's what we've got. A video of Jerem Jordan at BYU and BYU TV with Eric Mateos as they take a film review. Here it is. All right, here we're queuing this up right now. Again, though, we'll run through Jeff Grimes, offense coordinator, Vic Valoria from LSU, strength and conditioning coach, Chancey Stuckey, wide receiver. We've got Sean Bell moving to quarterback coach. Juice Johnson will be retained at running back coach. And then the O-line coach moving from Ryan Pugh over to, let's see, Eric Mateos from BYU. Again, we saw his coaching experience right there, his playing experience as well. Starting center and team captain in 2009-2010 at Southwest Baptist from Overland Park, Kansas. And Armstrong, we have that video queued up. I'm ready when you are. This is Jerem Jordan from BYU TV doing a film session with Baylor's Eric Mateos.
All right, Eric, obviously a dominating performance by the offense, and the O-line seemed to have a great day.
It was our best day with a lot of guys getting reps and a lot of guys playing well.
Okay, let's see Tyler Algiers play. Break it down.
Okay, well, I put this on here because it was a really good job, I think, by our whole offense. In this protection, it's a 5-man pro, and so if they bring 2 guys off of the top of the screen here, and they bring a new blitz. They hadn't shown us this blitz, but if they bring 2, this Mike and this strong safety, then we're hot off of the outside threat. And Zach sees that. And so this linebacker, number 2, he has to relate with number 3 to the field. Tyler becomes the 3rd receiver of the field, so he has to push all the way out there. And so he's stressed out. So Zach gets the ball out quick, and then our 2 guys are out on routes, become blockers, and Tyler's able to take it the distance. Tyler obviously has really benefited from not being coached by a running back coach throughout the course of the season.
Lopini Katoa touchdown early.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to the money shot here. This is the best shot in the world. You got a goal line. It's our 7 blockers on their 9 defenders, and we call this a bear choke front. They got a bear. All our inside guys are covered. They got 2 edges on the defense. They got a guy choking our tight end in man coverage, and so we knew if we brought Mason in motion, we could kind of get it tilted the way we wanted. You see 46 jumps front side here. And then the really nice job, we got a great double team on the backside by Keanu and Brady. They really washed this down.
All right, bringing it back into the Petty Clink Low T Bears Den. We've got the rest of that video coming up later on in the show. We'll break that down more later on. Also, here within this hour, we're going to hear from Coach Scott Drew of the Baylor men's basketball team, Adam Flagler, Matthew Meyer from last night's post-game press conference, talking about the Oklahoma game in which the Bears won by 15 points. Lon Kruger, head coach of Oklahoma, will also be on that to talk about Baylor's performance last night and how impressed he was with how the Bears played against his Sooners in a win that finaled out at 76-61, a 15-point victory for the Baylor men's basketball team. We're going to take it to a break and be right back on Uptempo.
The number 2 Baylor men's basketball team took care of business again last night and improved to 10-0, handling Oklahoma in Waco 76-61. Maceo Teague led the Bears in scoring with 17, but it was Matthew Meyer's 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists that made the difference. Adam Flagler added 15 of his own, and the Bears defense held Oklahoma to just 4 for 24 behind the arc in the win. Baylor is now the nation's only team to win every game this season by 11 or more points, including 7 of 10 wins by 25 or more points. Elsewhere in the league, number 10 Michigan dominated number 16 Minnesota 82-57 at home. Unranked Louisville snuck by 19th-ranked Virginia Tech in an upset at home, and Virginia was back in action with a 70-61 win over Wake Forest. Off to women's basketball, the biggest game in the country, Baylor and UConn in Waco, that was slated for tonight, has been canceled due to Kim Mulkey getting COVID-19. In football, Baylor head coach Dave Aranda released a statement last night that Troy offensive coordinator Ryan Pugh will no longer be joining the Bears staff as the O-line coach. The search to fill that vacancy continues. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on Sikkim 365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With more
more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on Sikkim 365 Radio.
Bringing it back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Drake Toll alongside Armstrong Sims talking Baylor basketball. Pleasure to have on Bruce Geetson earlier today alongside Bob Joyce, the respective voices of the women's basketball teams at UConn and Baylor. Guest list for tomorrow is still up in the air, but we've got Skylar Wetzel coming on the show to talk to us, Armstrong, and a couple of Boise State. How about this? Some Boise State folks that will join us to talk about their new athletic director, Jeremiah Dickey, moving out to Boise, Idaho. Last night in the basketball game, Matthew Meyer was the star of the show for Baylor with 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists to go along with a steal for him. Leading scorer, though, Maceo Teague, he went 4 for 6 for 3. Maceo Teague made 4 3-pointers. The entire Oklahoma team made 4 3-pointers. The key to Baylor's game last night was playing good, solid defense. They did exactly that, holding Oklahoma to 17% behind the arc, 4 for 24. 22 for 61 shooting all night. That's just 36% for Oklahoma. That's not going to do on the road. They say that defense travels, and, well, Oklahoma is not one of the better defensive teams in the conference. And so what defense they have, it didn't travel too much. Baylor put up 76 points, shot 48%. They shot 42% behind the arc, 10 for 24. A great game for Baylor. And the stat that jumps out to me, how about this? 40 bench points for the Bears, compared to 9 bench points for Oklahoma. In the end, it was a game of runs. Baylor outscored the Sooners 30-2 in the first 5 minutes of the first half and the last 5 minutes of the first half. Baylor winning the game 76-61. After the game, Lon Kruger, who spent a decade as the head coach at Oklahoma and seen plenty of Scott Drew-led Baylor teams, spoke to media about how good Baylor was. Following Lon Kruger was Adam Flagler of the Baylor Bears, Matthew Meyer. Do we have that picture from the Twitter that I sent, the up-tempo Armstrong with Matthew Meyer time? Let me get it here. We can grab the Matthew Meyer time before we roll with the.
Very important.
And then Scott Drew also was on last night. We got to hear from Scott Drew in the post-game press conference. Matthew Meyer time, Armstrong. I love this, and he's pulling it up right now. The clock with there it is. Just Matthew Meyer. Well, good heavens.
Would you look
at the time? It's Matthew Meyer time. That right there, that's golden. That's absolutely golden. All right, so we've got these bites from Lon Kruger, Adam Flagler, Matthew Meyer, and Scott Drew. The next 15 minutes, those guys will talk last night's ball game where Baylor knocked off Oklahoma 76-61 in the Farrell Center.
Hey, Lon, can you any way to put a finger on what happened with the start? It just 16-2 before you knew it. Just what happened at the beginning?
Well, they made a bunch of shots, and obviously we weren't into them enough to make those shots more difficult. We didn't make shots. I think we kind of got, maybe checking them out a little bit, a little unsure maybe. I don't know. We played them before, and they're a good team, and we knew that, but we've got to open better, yeah.
Lon, you mentioned kind of the slow start for you guys offensively, but what was Baylor doing so well defensively tonight?
They're very good defensively. They've got big active bodies, and again, if you're not moving the ball, if you're not cutting sharp, then they can make you stand. And that's what they did to start the ball game, switching a lot of ball screens, and instead of attacking and making plays for others, they got us standing a little bit. But they're very good. They're very good, and you got to really cut sharp, and you got to attack on hard lines and be strong with the ball and all of that. But if you're not doing that, then they can dominate you pretty good.
Yeah, Lon, just wanted to ask about Umoja. Obviously had the huge game of the night and only had 5 points this evening. What was different tonight? Was it just a simple case of not making shots, or was there anything in particular that he didn't do quite as well tonight as he did, or as a team tonight as obviously on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought the shots he got were not as good as shots based on what Baylor did. Baylor was very much aware of his, what he did the other night, and it was disappointed for Umoja because he wanted to come here and play well, and obviously didn't have one of his better nights, but he'll bounce back.
Yeah, Lon, it seems like Baylor annually doesn't get enough credits for its defense. Those guys really seem to get after it on the defensive end and make even good offensive teams like yourself play out of rhythm and play hurried. What do they do to sort of get you and everybody else sort of off their game?
Yeah, they've got 5 guys that can guard the ball. Even their big guys, they do a great job of sliding their feet and guarding the ball. They got 5 good athletes on the floor pretty much all the time, and they do a good job of keeping the ball in front of them and hard to get downhill against them. And you're right. They're the last couple of years for sure, they've been one of the best defensive teams in the country.
Adam, Oklahoma is obviously an explosive team. How important was it to get off to that 16-2 start?
It's very important. Every possession that we have, we try to go 1-0. So we were very excited that we came ready to play, and just started off the game good.
And what did you think of the team's defensive effort tonight?
Our team, we did a great job. We had a couple mishaps, but we did a great job. We were all connected, and we just wanted to make sure that we made a statement defensively.
Yeah, Adam, it feels like when you guys race out to a big lead like that in the first half, does the bench really kind of demoralize them, and that you can just kind of come at them in waves and makes it that much harder for them to come back on you guys?
The bench mob, I guess you could say, we definitely pride ourselves on coming in and providing that spark. Me, Matt, LJ, John, whoever's coming off the bench, we just try to come out there and compete at a high level and give us an edge.
And you guys obviously talked about the defense a little bit, but having such a deep bench and having so many guys, does that help you all be able to really kind of leave it all out there on the court on the defensive end?
It definitely plays a big part. It allows us all to be selfless out there and just play for each other. And a lot of times it's one guy that might not have a good night, but we have a great team to where we can all pick each other up.
Adam, you struggled a little offensively last game, but you really seem to feel comfortable out there tonight. Do you kind of feel like you're back in your groove now after missing some time?
I'm definitely going to take it one game at a time. I'll keep you updated on that. But my teammates have done a great job ever since I came back at encouraging me. My coaches have always stayed on me and told me to just go out there and just enjoy and have fun, and the rest will take care of itself. So I have to give credit to all my teammates and my coaches.
And what do you think you all maybe did in the second half to score a little bit more efficiently against Oklahoma's defense?
We definitely prided ourselves on being more selfless and getting into the paint and looking for others. And once we got that going, we were able to find open shots. We were able to get to the basket easier.
Hey, Adam, your second Big 12 game. I was curious. You mentioned that teammates and coaches were encouraging you. I was wondering if there was any particular piece of advice or encouragement that stuck out to you entering this game.
They just always tell me to stay confident and that I belong here, and they just have done a great job of just lifting me up every second, every practice, every game, and it's just been paying off, and it's keeping me positive, but also keeping me humble.
And what did you think of the team's defensive effort tonight? Y'all held them down pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I think our defense is the best in the country consistently. So, I mean, I wasn't surprised at all, but, it's just what we do. Like, Mark and Davion, probably two best defenders I've seen in college. So, yeah.
Matthew, it looked like when Manick went out with the back injury that you were kind of, when he came back in, looked like y'all were intentionally attacking him, particularly with you. Was that part of the game plan?
It was from the beginning. I was calling for it throughout the game, but then I finally started getting it in that second run. But yeah, that was part of our game plan, just to attack him, and that worked out pretty well for us.
And did you kind of get in a good rhythm right from the beginning? I think you hit like your first 5 shots.
Oh, wow. I felt good. I came in locked in, ready to be aggressive, and just worked out that way. It's not going to be like that every game, but felt good.
I kind of had the same question for the most part, but it just seemed like you were so much more aggressive tonight, whether it was pulling up from 3 when you were a little more guarded maybe than last game, or just driving to the basket. Did you kind of enter this game with that mindset that you were going to
I've entered every game with that mindset so far this season. My coaches have done a great job of helping me figure out what is the most efficient stuff for me. And I'm a good three-point shooter, but, we found I'm efficient attacking the rim and, pitching it to other guys. So that's what I try to focus on. And I take, if they're giving it to me wide open, I got to take it. And one of those was a heat check. But, you got to take those every once in a while.
Hey, Matt, you said that you play a lot with confidence. Obviously, that's evident on the court. Is it easier to play that way when your starters go out and get the kind of lead that they got tonight?
Yeah, I would say it makes it easier, but I try to go in regardless of what the situation is, just attacking. We could be up 30, down 30. I'm going to just be playing my game. But, yeah, it definitely helps when you have the confidence that your starters give you. So, yeah.
And then defensively, you guys – got after OU so well on the 3-point line tonight. I think they were like 4 of whatever. Mm-hmm. What was the key? Because obviously they can shoot it well, but what was kind of the key going after them early and trying to take that part of their offense away from them?
Well, I'd say mainly just taking away Brady Manick. Austin Reeves is a decent shooter, but he got some looks off. But we were just mainly focused in on Brady Manick, and that seemed to work out.
Well, any Big 12 win is a good one, and Coach Kruger always is such a tough team to defend, teams that he coaches. He had 2 top 20 offenses in the country going at it tonight, and I thought first half we really did a great job, kind of shot ourselves in the foot with our turnovers that led to their buckets, but really guarded well. And they had some good looks, but didn't make them. Second half, you knew they were going to make more shots because they're too talented, and I thought we did a great job at answering their runs in the second half, and never really letting them get in that single-digit area where you get a lot more nervous.
Scott, y'all got off to that big lead early, 16-2. How important was that?
It was a great start, and you knew OU was going to make a run and come back and not go away. But as a coach, you always want to start fast. You always want to get a lead and make the other team play catch up. And I thought the starters really did a good job in that first media plus.
Was that kind of cool seeing your dad on the screen after the game?
It was nice of Don Rogers setting that up. So, but he's a coach. He knows who deserves the credit, and that's the players and the staff, administration, and head coaches get to benefit from that. And those are team awards.
Hey, Scott, I asked Matthew earlier about a moment this week when he did not finish up his free throws. Coach brought him back to practice, and that it meant a big deal to him. It was a part of his maturing process. Jerome Tang shared that story with us today. How much has he grown up and matured in your eyes?
Well, I think Matt's a great kid. He's got a great heart, and he's somebody that I think you've seen his basketball game mature from his freshman year to now, and mentally he's done the same. I mean, none of us are where we want to be. That's why each day we want to get better and we want to improve. But you can definitely see in his game he's taking steps forward, and that mental part is a big reason for that. Putting in the time, working on the right things, feeling more comfortable in what he needs to do. So all those above, and he's defending and rebounding better.
The way that Matthew attacked, particularly when Manic came back in the game, was that part of the game plan to begin with, or did y'all see kind of maybe a weakness there?
Well, I think each and every night the luxury we have is you have different guys that can get going, and sometimes matchups benefit you based on who's playing well. And I thought sometimes we scored on Manic, other times we were able to get some assists. But he's a tremendous player, and Matt was just rolling tonight.
Yeah, Coach, when you get up big like that and knowing that you have the bench you have to kind of come at them in waves and make it that much tougher to come back, how much of a luxury is that, knowing that you got that on your side?
Well, it's a luxury, but us coaches know that there is no safe lead in the Big 12. You look the other night, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, what was it, 19 points with 11 minutes to go. And, I mean, we've had big leads and lost them, and we've been down big and come back. So the tough thing is you fight human nature when you get a big lead. And you think and assume things are going to be easy. In Big 12 play, they're not.
And with the deep bench that we talk about so much, how much does that help your guys really be able to kind of leave it out there from a defensive intensity standpoint?
Well, I think the fact that they know if one guy gets in foul trouble, it's not going to kill our team. And a lot of times you go into games, and if this guy's on the bench, they really struggle. And we're really blessed to have a lot of players that contribute in a lot of different ways.
You know, in the first half, you had 9 turnovers. I think you only had 3 in the second half. Is there any part of your mind that thinks that sometimes you need to slow it down a little bit more instead of playing so fast that can lead to some of those transition outlets and let teams cut into a sizable lead?
Yeah, I'm laughing because that's such a fine line. Always, you always go back and forth. Like you, as a coach, you hate when you don't get quality shots and quality opportunities. At the same time, the last Ken Palm numbers I saw, we were 26 in pace, and we had the 3rd best offense. So a lot of positives for how we're playing. At the same time, there's times when you're like, we need to be a little more patient and get a better shot and make them play defense. So it's a constant tension you're trying to work out.
Hey, Scott, today across the country has been a tough day for a lot of people. With everything going on at the Capitol, was that something that you had to discuss with your team or talk about? And just in the last week, has social justice issues come back into the forefront? Is that something that y'all are continuing to talk about? And what do those conversations look like?
Well, I think Coach Tang's prayer tonight was tremendous, and everyone that was at the Farrell Center, his sentiment probably is exactly how our team feels, and it's a great prayer, and I think the conversations we've had, we'll keep having. Those are things that will go on each and every year because you want to get better, and there's only one way to get better is that's address issues, try to improve.
Scott, you called timeout with about 5 minutes to go in the first half. You were up 5, and I know coaches want to say their words of wisdom are always magic, but what was the big adjustment that you felt like you guys made with that big stretch run to close out the half?
Well, I told them we needed a 17-point lead, and they listened. So, no, I tell you, basketball is such a game of momentum and spurts, and sometimes you just need to get in a timeout, get something to drink, recalibrate, and then come back a little more focused. And I thought we did that. And then our substitutions obviously gave us new energy, new life, and I know LJ really played well, and Adam and Matt and John, but LJ especially did a great job in giving us a boost during that stretch.
And then Matthew said a few moments ago about Manick being maybe the key on the three-point line, kind of limiting him because, Reeves will probably get his share. But how key was that to maybe take that second option away from them from the yard? Well,
I mean, Manick, Reeves is a great scorer. He can score from anywhere, and you want to make him tough because you know he's going to get his, but you just don't want it to be 11 for 14 or 12 for 14. And then Manick, he's 5 for 11. He's a great player and somebody, same exact thing. And I thought we really did a good job, especially in the first half, trying to identify where those two were. And then everybody else that's has their strengths, just trying to take away their strengths.
All right, that's all the questions of Coach Drew. Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys, and thank the fans that came tonight. I thought it was a Big 12 game, and the fans definitely gave us a lift. And can't thank them enough for those that came and those that gave their tickets to others that could come. So that's why I think you look at the Big 12 and why road teams have been so successful is obviously everyone's missing the fans and that home court advantage, and understandably so. But for those that did and were able to come, thank you for what they gave us tonight.
And we bring it back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I'm Drake Toll alongside Armstrong Sims. I could listen to Scott Drew all day. And a lot of good stuff there from the post-game press conference last night in the 76-61 win over Oklahoma that Baylor secured at home in their home conference opener. Scott Drew and the team, they just played well. They did what they needed to do to win. They held Oklahoma down from a defensive standpoint, and they looked good. We're going to take it to a break right here and be right back with Coach Felicia Mulkey of the Baylor Acrobatics and Tumbling team. What if I told you the next guest we have on our show, Fee Mulkey, has 9 national championships? More of that next on Uptempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on Sikkim 365 Radio.
All right, bringing it back in the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I'm Drake Toll, alongside our producer Armstrong Sims. And how about it? We have one of the best coaches in all of college athletics, 9 national championships, Coach Felicia Mulkey of the Baylor Acrobatics and Tumbling team. Coach, how strong are your hands just trying to hold up the hardware?
I sadly don't wear them all the time. So.
Well, I tell you what, one away. So let me ask you this too, before we get into the real questions. The next national championship ring that you boast, are you going to get it fitted for the pinky? Like, are we completing the full set where you can go out in style?
I hadn't thought about it. I try not to get that far ahead, but that's a pretty good idea.
I love it. Coach's overall record right here, 105 wins to 4 losses across your career, 9 national championships in the Collegiate Acrobatics and Tumbling Association, NCATA. But Coach, that's about to change. And that's where I want to start with the NCAA sanction for acrobatics and tumbling to become an official sanctioned sport. How big is that for you, especially being a pioneer on the forefront of making that happen?
It's huge. So 12 years of my life, that's what we've been working for the past 12 years. It was I guess it was official August the 1st, 2020. We were voted in divisions 2 and 3 in January of 2020, and then voted in division 1 in June. So several opportunities to celebrate throughout the year, this big milestone. But as of August 1st, 2020, an official NCAA emerging sport. So congrats not only to the coaches and admins that have been working on this, but all these student athletes. I mean, the student athletes are the pioneers. Well, they took the road less traveled, and now they are NCAA athletes.
So talk about your trip to Baylor too, your trek to become a Bear. You know, we've got a lot of viewers who are new to the acrobatics and tumbling world that have followed your success even more so as Baylor has grown in the forefront. You were at Oregon, won 4 national championships at Oregon, now have 5 national titles at Baylor. What brought you to Waco, and is this home for you now?
It is home for me now, absolutely. What brought me to Waco is just Baylor. It's a special place. And when the opportunity opened for me to get back down to where the sun shines, I grew up in Georgia. So it was fantastic to be where the sun is out all the time. And Eugene, Oregon is beautiful, but not quite as sunny. So there were some reasons for that. But Baylor's, it's a special place. If you're here, you know the people are special. And so it's been great to come here and build this program and become the standard for acrobatics and tumbling across the country.
And you talk about that standard. When it comes to your success, what do you attribute that to? What is the standard that you set in your program that has led to now 9 national championships?
I think it comes down to the culture of our team and our teams, and just a shared culture. And when we work on that every year, the dynamic changes. Our philosophy doesn't, but our goal every year is get to a point where we're thinking for each other, and go through those 4 stages of team: storming, norming, performing. Forming, storming, norming, performing, something like that. I get them wrong all the time, but getting to that performance stage and being able to turn that corner and think for one another. And that journey each year is honestly one of the reasons to continue coaching and getting to that that performance stage, that final stage of team, I think that's where the championships are coming from. Just these women working their tails off and working through not only physically, but the mental piece of the sport and everything that comes along with that.
And before I get too far ahead of myself here with the NCAA sanction and earning that Division I nod, how excited were your players to hear that have built not just the program at Baylor, but have been, again, at the forefront of the entire sport nationally? Now to see that pay off from the NCAA, how excited was your team?
They were thrilled. And we were able, our SAC representatives actually wrote a letter to the NCAA as they were, all voting on all of this. And I think that's typical, but for our team has been involved the whole time. But I have to say, there was a celebration across the country. This is being a young sport. It's very collaborative. All of the coaches across the country work together. The student athletes realize across the country, even though they're competing against each other on the mat, that they're really writing history. So there was a celebration, I think, across the country, and my team was thrilled. And it probably helped that I was constantly reminding them and keep letting them know, keeping them up with the progress and what this would mean. So we did have a Zoom celebration because that's really all we can have these days.
And what a roller coaster of emotion for you and your program to get that great news in the midst of a season that was as trying as ever for everyone across the country. They say to go undefeated, you got to start 1-0. How about 6-0? Your team was 6-0, number one in the nation, on track to win a 10th national championship, your 10th national championship, when the bottom fell out. What do you remember on those early days of finding out your season was in jeopardy?
It seems like 2 days ago sometimes, and then sometimes it seems like 2 years ago that all that happened. But I think the sad thing for me about last year is we were on this talking about those 4 stages of team and the journey of the team and where you get to in the end and why we really coach. We were on this upward trajectory, and it was so exciting. And I think it was sad, just the loss of everyone losing their season and all that. But they fought in the fall. Our team, 2/3 of our team last year were freshmen and sophomores. And it was a rebuilding year for us. And they stepped up to the plate. And you saw that these sophomores that hadn't been really tasked with things that they needed to do to contribute to the team, they had to do it last year. And you saw them kind of step up. All these people were stepping up to the plate. And the meet that we ended on was at the beginning of spring break. And the irony of so much irony in the year, but typically we're all together over spring break. Every year that I've been at Baylor, we are together the entire spring break because we go on a spring break trek and we'll hit two meets along the way and come back. Last year, for the first time ever, we had 1 meet at the beginning of spring break. So our team was actually going to get 4 days off during spring break.
How about 4 months?
Right. So we finished this meet at Presbyterian College, and we won the meet. We stood together after and talked about how excited we were to get back on Sunday, because I think the team could feel it too. And it wasn't our best meet, but they could feel where we were headed. And so we were all thrilled to get back on Sunday. And then I didn't see them until August. So that part, you kind of were paralyzed in the beginning, like, is this really happening? And then, but the saddest part was just the trajectory that the team has been on. But I got to tell you, they came back with a renewed sense of purpose and a fire under them. And this is going to be a really fun year. So I'm sad to see last year end, but man, I'm ready to see this year start.
And you pulled me right back into it. Fast forward to now and where your program is now and how they've adjusted. How much have you been around your team? How much have you been able to practice? And what does your off season look like as you prepare to kick off here soon?
Well, we were able to start, I think, in September, and Baylor's done a fantastic job of being able to mitigate and control and do everything that they've done here on the university athletic wise. Our medical staff is fantastic. So we had to follow some new protocols and started off in really small groups and we're able to create a bubble there, so to speak, a kind of a bubble over the course. And we're able to practice pretty much all of fall starting in September. So we were very lucky and setback here and there per usual, I think with the pandemic that's going on, but they were I've been around them since September, and it's been great. We just started back yesterday. We're back in small groups again right now. And of course, we wouldn't come in and step on the gas anyway. We'd come in and knock the rust off and do everything safely. So we're back in small groups, and hopefully we'll work our way back into bigger groups and then start competing in February. So I've learned a lot through all of this, and some things I'll take with me, into next year that we've never really been forced to do. The small groups are paying off for us, whereas we've never really used that in the past. So try to just make everything a learning opportunity, and we'll do the same for COVID.
With your upcoming season, do you still feel like there are more questions than answers when it comes to scheduling, when you'll play where, whether or not you'll have fans, how you'll do things safely? Have you gotten any of those answers yet, or are you still looking at a lot of things being up in the air?
Absolutely, to answer your question, there is a lot of uncertainty. I think the difference between the fall and now is that we're used to uncertainty, and so you can wrap your arms around it a little bit more. And the way we're handling it is things are going to change day by day. So each day we go with what we know. And, right now we have a tentative schedule, and we're going to move on with that tentative schedule, knowing that there will be changes. And I think the team that wins this year is not only going to be the best team mentally and physically, they're also going to be the team that can roll with the punches. And we plan on that being us.
So looking back at your last recruiting class too, the trouble that you had to go through, the extra work you had to go through to bring in a team basically via Zoom, even those that had already committed, maybe you're not having to do the whole recruiting process with them, but now the only chance you ever get to talk to them before they come onto the program is, virtually. So with this last recruiting class that you signed, how excited are you about those girls? And moreover, how different has it looked only being able to meet with them via computers?
Very different. And I'm the eternal optimist. I got to say, I'm thrilled about this class that we just signed. And COVID pushed us into Zoom. It pushed us into recruiting a different way. But I think we made the most of it. I will take some of what I've learned through this again in recruiting, and I'll apply it moving forward. I can't wait to get them on campus. And I can't imagine we had, oddly enough, with COVID and recruiting over Zoom, we had more verbal commits ahead of signing day than we've ever had.
Wow.
I think it was bizarre. And I think it really forced us even to get to know the athletes and their parents better, because the access was there. It wasn't just us getting to fly there and meet with them. We could jump on Zoom whenever. And for us in our program, we're very big on culture. We want there to be a fit. If you're talented, that's wonderful. And we celebrate that. But if you're talented and not a great fit for our program, then we encourage you to go somewhere else. And through this easy access via Zoom, we were able to really sit down and talk and get to know the athletes and their families. And I feel like great fits across the board. We have 14 incoming freshmen this next year, and I could not be more thrilled.
From your perspective outside of Baylor, looking at big picture across the country, as you have done an amazing job of recruiting other schools and programs to join acrobatics and tumbling, you're one of the biggest advocates out there. How have you been able to help other programs build their teams in the midst of COVID and bring on other recruits? Have you had a hand in bringing schools on board even in the midst of a pandemic?
So to answer, as far as helping other coaches and recruiting, it's a very collaborative group. So yes, I've been able to do that, but so have my assistant coaches, and so have all of the other veteran coaches across the country. All of the new schools, we have a lot of new schools this year. This would be their first year competing. I think we've all just wrapped our arms around each other and helped. Hey, this is working for me. That, this recruiting wise, this is working for me. So I won't even take credit. I helped, but so did every other veteran coach. Just wrapping our arms around our new coaches. As far as adding new schools, we've added 3 in the past 3 months, I think. And my numbers may be off, but we are adding during a pandemic. We're growing. I don't expect it to stop. Once everybody kind of gets mentally and physically back from the holiday, I think we'll add a few more. So just for the crowd, if you don't understand, so to get on the emerging sport list, it's this huge thing you have to go through. And this proposal you put in, we worked on it for 12 years. Once you're on the emerging sport list, you have 10 years to accumulate 40 NCAA programs that compete within an academic year. And once you do that, you are put into legislation to become an NCAA championship sport. Well, that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate goal, and always has been. Well, we are currently, I wish I would have looked at my list before I was doing practice plan before we got on the phone. I wish I would have looked at my NCATA list, but we are at 36 universities across the country, 34 of those NCAA schools. So we need 6 NCAA schools to add and before we go into that championship legislation. So I think that's going to happen sooner than later based on the interest that we've had across the country.
Wow. Unbelievable. And to see it right in front of our eyes here in Waco and at Baylor, seeing a program not just at the forefront of the sport, but at the forefront of making it an NCAA sanctioned sport and really being a trailblazer. So for you, though, Coach, and this is where I'll end things from the real line of questioning. We have some Bear Games questions for you here in a second.
Oh, fun. Okay.
For you, 105 wins, 4 losses, 9 national championships, at the forefront of your sport, and one of the very best to ever do it. With all of those accolades already built up, what's next for you? What is your next big goal that you really want to achieve?
Well, we want to win an NCAA title. So that's next. That's what we want. We want an NCAA title as an emerging sport, and then we want an NCAA title as a championship sport. And then we're at 36 schools right now. I want there to be 100 schools, and I want Baylor to win the title then. So let's just Baylor continue to set the standard in everything that they do, marketing, everything, and everybody can follow. We'll continue to get more and more schools, and then let's get back on here and talk again when we're at 50 schools and then at 60 and at 70, and continue to celebrate Baylor's success. That's my goal.
I love it. I love it. The big picture. Coach, we do Bear Games on this show every day where we take Baylor's second best bracket. Because, I know this predates you just a tad, but RG3 being at Baylor, everybody knows. Heisman Trophy winner and had such a great career. So some of these names, though, they're kind of out of left field, but we've got Baylor's second best football player of the last decade, a 32-man bracket. We're in round 1. And Xavier Howard, one of the very best NFL cornerbacks, is facing off against Baylor's best kicker ever, Aaron Jones. If you've got to pick between Jones and Howard, who are you going with, Coach?
Oh, man, I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this.
I know. This is completely – look, I'll say this. We asked this same question to a BYU sports writer 2 days ago and a UConn sports writer today. So I'll tell you what, they're probably even more lost in the grand scheme of things.
Okay, I will go with Howard.
All right, Xavier Howard has a vote there. How about Antoine Goodley or Charlie Brewer? There's a familiar name.
Let's go with Brewer.
Charlie Brewer. And then Sean Oakman, the big defensive lineman, or Trayvon Blanchard?
Let's go with Trayvon.
Trayvon Blanchard's got a vote on the board here. And then here's the real question that has gotten everybody today. There are $15 million on the line, the fate of the world, too. So if this guy makes the free throw, you get $15 million. If he misses it, the world explodes. It's one Big 12 football coach that you get to pick to shoot your free throw, and everything's on the line here. If you had to pick one Big 12 football coach to shoot a free throw, do or die, who is it?
Oh, my gosh. I've never seen Aranda make a shot, but I feel like you have to,
Yeah. How do you go against your guy? How do you go against your guy here?
Does he have any basketball background?
I'll say this. Dave Aranda, he hurt his shoulder so bad in high school that it took him out of contention to play legitimate collegiate football. Like, the guy would have been a stud and was a stud in high school, but the shoulder injury has really put him out. So look, he's got the mindset, he's got the head for it, but does he have the arm strength?
I'm going to say this is how much faith I have in Aranda. I'm going to say that he would walk up to the free throw line and he would shoot it. Was it Hank Gathers? He'll shoot it with the opposite arm and make it save the world.
We've got that much confidence in Baylor head football coach Dave Aranda to go opposite-handed, fate of the world on the line. The world doesn't explode, and Felicia Mulkey walks out with $15 million.
Now, if it were me making the free throw, I would bet on myself before anybody. But if I have to choose a football coach, we're sticking close to home. We got to do that. So
you guys heard it first. Felicia Mulkey saved your life because the earth was going to explode and she sunk it. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on Up Tempo today. I always love talking to you. A great personality to have on, and one of the innovators in a new and emerging sport in collegiate athletics. Coach, great to have you.
Thanks so much for having me. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Sick'em Bears as always. I'm Drake Toll. Armstrong Sims is running our production today. And let me tell you what, Armstrong, what an awesome Thursday. Whole lot going on here. Hires still being made on the offensive side. And wow, great interview with Felicia Mulkey. Just unbelievable stats, man. 104 wins to, 4 losses? Like, that's insane. That's real. And it's 105 wins to 4 losses, 9 national championships. Felicia Mulkey, one of the best to do it across any sport. We got Armstrong's Minute coming up, but a quick break. We'll be right back on Up Tempo.
The number 2 Baylor men's basketball team took care of business again last night and improved to 10-0, handling Oklahoma in Waco 76-61. Maceo Teague led the Bears in scoring with 17, but it was Matthew Myers' 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists that made the difference. Adam Flagler added 15 of his own, and the Bears defense held Oklahoma to just 4 for 24 behind the arc in the win. Baylor is now the nation's only team to win every game this season by 11 or more points, including 7 of 10 wins by 25 or more points. Elsewhere in the league, number 10 Michigan dominated number 16 Minnesota 82-57 at home. Unranked Louisville snuck by 19th ranked Virginia Tech in an upset at home, and Virginia was back in action with a 70-61 win over Wake Forest. Off to women's basketball, the biggest game in the country, Baylor and UConn in Waco, that was slated for tonight has been canceled due to Kim Mulkey getting COVID-19. In football, Baylor head coach Dave Aranda released a statement last night that Troy offensive coordinator Ryan Pugh will no longer be joining the Bears staff as the O-line coach. The search to fill that vacancy continues. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on Sick'em 365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
It takes time to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money, and you deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And Tom Albers, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help. If your financial investments aren't putting forth the effort you desire, stop by today for a financial review. Tom Albers, 4301 Lakeshore Drive, 254-776-7605. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to Sick'em 365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jeweler, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs, too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on Sikkim 365 Radio.
All right, let's do it. 30 minutes left on this Thursday. We've got Steven from Virginia on the line from Up Tempo. Before we get to you, Steven, how about it? Mike Bobo has been hired as the offensive coordinator at Auburn 10 days after saying that he was happy in South Carolina and wanted his family to be there for a long time. Now Mike Bobo going from South Carolina to Auburn to be the offensive coordinator with Brian Harsin. On the defensive side, Auburn hired Derek Mason. I give that hire an A. I like Derek Mason a lot. Armstrong?
You know, him saying that he was going to stay at South Carolina and his family like that reminds me of a certain Baylor coach about a year ago.
Pat Dool?
No. Yes, actually.
Pat Dool. Yeah, we won't give that away.
Yeah.
But that's, I guess, a good hint. Derek Mason, that's an A+ hire. Mike Bobo is like a C-. What? Who's looking at South Carolina's offense and going, that's what I want. I want that guy to coach my offense. Not me. Maybe Auburn, ? I think Auburn's in a bad spot. Auburn's in a bad spot right now after, sure, you get Gus Malzahn out of there, but then what? You know, it's the same as that. Georgia got lucky when they fired Mark Richt for winning 10 games every year when they hired Kirby Smart. Most teams that do that, it doesn't work out very well. I don't think it's going to work out well for Auburn. I like Harsin. He was like their 7th guy on the list, and now he's hiring Mike Bobo as the OC. Give me Jeff Grimes all day. Mike Bobo, Jeff Grimes, fist fight. Give me Jeff Grimes. Mike Bobo, Jeff Grimes, offensive coordinator. Also give me Jeff Grimes. 2 for 2 sweeps.
We play Auburn here in a couple years, so.
We do. 2025, I think.
4 or 5, maybe.
4, maybe it's 4 and 5. It's something like a home and away.
Yeah, but we'll be able to see it, maybe.
True. Maybe. What?
If Bobo's still there.
Oh, yeah. Steven from Virginia, you are on with Sikkim 365 Radio.
Hey, guys. Been feeling a little under the weather, so missed the first part of the show. Hopefully, y'all can get a full show podcast up.
Oh, yeah. Can we, Armstrong? Armstrong says yes. He's eating.
That's awesome. So I kind of woke up and found out that we had a new offensive line coach and didn't really understand why the last one wasn't here, and it doesn't really give me too much pause. You know, Coach Rule had a wide receivers coach that he brought in who left for Washington before the class was even signed.
Yeah.
So this kind of stuff happens all the time, but I just, I know that a lot of people wanted the guy from BYU to begin with. So to me, he replaced one impact hire with another.
We want to emphasize that it's not official yet.
But yeah, there's so much weird stuff going on still with that as we try to track from last night and piece together what exactly is going on. Here's the great part about the Baylor program is that they will not let anything out. Like we can speculate all we want, but I love that Mack Rhodes and Dave Aranda keep things under lock and key. Do I love it? Yeah, I do. There's a part of me that was like, man, I wish we would know more. I wish we were inside of that, but we're not, and I'm okay with that. Steven, do you want to play a game?
I would love to play a game.
Beautiful. Steven, we have on the line here it's you versus Armstrong right here. We call this Go for 3 or Take the 3. I haven't decided what I'm going to call it yet. I think it's take the 3 or Go for I don't know. But what I've got, I have 6 facts from sports, okay? Only 3 of these are true. Only 3 of these are true. So I'm going to go down the list of these, read them off. You'll say true or false. Armstrong will say true or false as well, and and we'll see who wins. If you beat Armstrong, you've just won yourself a free Sikkim 365 t-shirt.
Oh.
Are you ready to play, Stephen from Virginia?
I'm very ready.
All right. Fact number 1. Apart from Baylor football's national championship in 1974, the Bears have been number 1 in the AP poll never. So they've only been AP poll number 1 one time, and that was during their championship run in 74. True or false, Stephen?
That's false.
Armstrong, true or false?
I think that's false.
Okay, we got 2 falses on the board. You guys can't agree on all of them. James Naismith, the inventor of basketball, he was the head coach of the Kansas Jayhawks at one time, has the best win percentage of any Jayhawk coach in history. Stephen?
That's also false.
Okay, we got false there. Armstrong?
That's false. I believe he's actually the worst.
The worst.
Yes.
He is the worst. Good job. Uh-oh, this is getting hairy. Nolan Ryan struck out seven pairs of fathers and sons during his career.
That one has to be true. I know that I've heard that stat before.
Armstrong?
I'm going to go with false.
7. All right, we've got Florida State and Florida played 13 times from 1990 to 2000. Both teams were ranked in the top 10 every single game. Both teams, 13 times, 1990 to 2000. In 6 of those meetings, both teams were ranked in the top 5. Stephen from Virginia, is that true or false?
I will say that's true. Those were the prime times of Florida and Florida State's program.
Yeah, Bowden was good at Florida State. Armstrong?
I'm going to say that's false.
There are a lot of numbers in there. All right.
I don't know if Armstrong's answered true yet.
Are you going to help him, Stephen
Have
from
I
Virginia?
answered true?
I'm just saying it has to be 3, and we've gone through 4, and I've heard 4
Stephen,
false.
I was going to tell Armstrong that after the game, after he'd already lost, but I don't. All right. Since 2008, Nick Saban has one more home loss than he has national championships.
That's true.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So we're both going true on that one, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And then final question here. Every single player that played for Pat Summitt graduated from the University of Tennessee.
Oh, my gosh. I really want this to be right. And I think I've already said true 3 times.
That's true. You
I'm
can hit or
going
miss
true
here.
with that just because I love her.
Wow.
She's awesome.
He's going true with that. Gutsy call. Armstrong?
I'm going to go true, although I feel like there's probably like one. You probably saw there's like one player that didn't graduate, and then so you just changed it or something like that.
I did do that with some of these. So here we go through the list. Nick Saban has just one more home loss than he has national championships since 2008. That is false. You both said true. It is the exact same. He has the same number of home losses and national championships in the last 12 years. So we're both 0 for 1 here. How about this? James Naismith, the inventor of basketball, has Kansas' best win percentage as a coach. You both said false. You were both correct. He has the worst.
The worst.
And he invented basketball. So we have, apart from Baylor football's national championship in 1974, the Bears have never been number 1 on the AP poll. You both said false. That is false because the Bears did not win a national championship in 74. What did they win, Stephen from Virginia?
They won the Southwest Conference after beating Texas.
They won the Southwest Conference after beating Texas in an unbelievable season. We have Nolan Ryan struck out seven pairs of fathers and sons. Armstrong said false. Stephen from Virginia said true. It is true.
Oh, my gosh.
Armstrong, you dropped that ball on that one.
I did drop the ball.
We have every player.
Put baseball questions in there.
We have every player that played for Pat Summitt graduated from Tennessee. You both said true. That was true.
Good.
Last but not least, Florida and Florida State played 13 times from 1990 to 2000. Both teams ranked in the top 10 every time. 6 of those, the teams were ranked in the top 5. Armstrong said false. Stephen from Virginia said true. If this is true, Stephen from Virginia wins a t-shirt. If it is false, you tie, and Stephen, you win nothing. Florida State and Florida played 13 times from 1990 to 2000. That part is true.
Oh, yes.
Both teams will rank in the top 10 every single time. That part is true. Now, in 6 of those meetings, both teams will rank in the top 5. That part's also true, Steven from Virginia. You won a T-shirt.
No way.
Let's go.
I better move up the Bigfoot homies list for this.
You better move up the Bigfoot homies for this.
You better.
All
I
right.
wonder if Bigfoot's listening.
Steven from Virginia wins it by a final score of 5 correct to 4 correct, beating Armstrong Sims in our go for 3 or take the 3, whatever I'm going to name it later on. All right, Bear Games, Aaron Jones or Xavier Howard?
Xavier Howard.
Xavier Howard is on top of Aaron Jones. Antoine Goodley or Charlie Brewer?
That has to be Charlie Brewer.
Chuck, baby. I love the love that Chuck is getting today on this show. Sean Oakman or Trayvon Blanchard?
Sean Oakman.
Sean Oakman blowing that one out of the water. And you have 1 free throw. If this guy makes it, you get $1 billion. If he misses it, you foreclose on your house. 1 Big 12 head coach is shooting the free throw.
On my house.
1 Big 12 coach is shooting the free throw. Which Big 12 coach is shooting it? If he drains it, you get $1 billion.
Football coaches?
Big 12 football coaches. Mind you, Dave Aranda has a shoulder
Okay.
that's not in the best shape.
The way I look at it is, as a former basketball player, I got to look at the coaches who look kind of athletic. Coach Aranda looks athletic.
True.
Lincoln Riley looks athletic.
That's my
Mike
vote.
Gundy, at one point in his life, he could have been athletic. So those 3, and I'm going to go Coach Aranda just because I'm going to ask him if I can live on Baylor campus if he loses my house.
That's true. He probably owes you if he is the reason that you lose your house.
I would say so. A nice Baylor dorm room as a thank you wouldn't be the worst thing I could get.
Which dorm are you picking there, Steven?
Oh, that's tough.
A huge
the
Twitter
one with
debate.
the room right next to you, so I can annoy you.
Nice. All right. Steven and I are living in Allen Hall. Steven, thanks for your call. Thanks for playing our Bear Games. Always good to hear from you on the Impact Health Labs caller line.
Take care.
Thanks, Steven. All right, big day in sports as Baylor solidifying more offensive hires on the offensive line. Recruiting still going on. Oh, man, what a week. Baylor basketball wins last night. The women's game canceled tonight against UConn with Kim Mulkey testing positive. We got one more segment left where we'll play Celebrity Birthdays and This Day in Sports History. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. And this is Up Tempo. Here's a little bit of Armstrong's Minute.
The number 2 Baylor men's basketball team took care of business again last night and improved to 10-0, handling Oklahoma in Waco 76-61. Macy O'Teague led the Bears in scoring with 17, but it was Matthew Myers' 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists that made the difference. Adam Flagler added 15 of his own, and the Bears defense held Oklahoma to just 4 for 24 behind the arc in the win. Baylor is now the nation's only team to win every game this season by 11 or more points, including 7 of 10 wins by 25 or more points. Elsewhere in the league, number 10 Michigan dominated number 16 Minnesota 82-57 at home. Unranked Louisville snuck by 19th ranked Virginia Tech in an upset at home, and Virginia was back in action with a 70-61 win over Wake Forest. Off to women's basketball, the biggest game in the country, Baylor and UConn in Waco, that was slated for tonight has been canceled due to Kim Mulkey getting COVID-19. In football, Baylor head coach Dave Aranda released a statement last night that Troy offensive coordinator Ryan Pugh will no longer be joining the Bears staff as the O-line coach. The search to fill that vacancy continues. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on Sikkim 365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on Sikkim 365 Radio.
All right, Drake Toll alongside Armstrong Sims in the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Let's close out this day in the best way, Armstrong. We got our updates on the up-tempo bracket for the day and the matchups in the Baylor second best bracket. I tell you what, also Armstrong, breaking news, Joey McGuire still has Baylor in his Twitter bio.
That's important.
Wanted to throw that out earlier today.
Thank you for tracking that and keeping us all updated.
I will. I have been on top of that. Probably the one thing that I've tracked more than anything else. On our voting today, so far in studio, your scores are Aaron Jones, 20, Xavier Howard, 50, Antoine Goodley, 10, Charlie Brewer, 60, Sean Oakman, 60, Trayvon Blanchard, 10. So right now on Twitter, your scores. Sean Oakman has 70.2% of the vote compared to Trayvon Blanchard's 29. Well, you have it different than I do, I guess. Okay, mine's a little bit more updated, I guess. But yeah, Sean Oakman's up by a lot in that one. Aaron Jones and Xavier Howard, that one has, how does this keep happening? It has 132 more votes than the other one. Like, it's people are picking and choosing. You can't do that.
Yeah. Well, you have to vote on all of them.
It's like going to the polls to vote for president and then not voting for local mayor. Like, you got to vote for local mayor, too. Come on, guys. Be considerate.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Be considerate. Aaron Jones, 10% of the vote. Here's the thing, too, is I would get it if the matchup was closer. Like, if you saw something and you're like, oh, that's a tight matchup, I don't want to vote in that. Or, oh, that's a tight matchup, I want to vote in that. I would get the disparity, but both of these are blowouts. Xavier Howard. Why is Xavier Howard, why is he beating Aaron Jones by that much? This is the best kicker in Baylor history.
Third highest scorer in Big 12
Big 12 history.
Yeah.
Kickers can't get no respect. And then a misspelled Antoine Goodley and Charlie Brewer. Charlie Brewer is going to win his first round game on the Baylor second best bracket of the last decade. A 3 seed taking on the 6 seed Antoine Goodley. Goodley is only in there because he won the play-in game. So, and Antoine Goodley showed that he deserved to be in the bracket. And then Charlie Brewer, when it matters most, fourth quarter, down to the wire, knocking him off and moves on to the next round. I got bad news for Charlie, though. Armstrong, you know who Charlie Brewer plays in round 2?
I do not.
Sean Oakman.
Oh, gosh.
So, Sean Oakman and Charlie Brewer. Charlie, it was a good run, but I'm not sure how that one's going to go for you. How about this? Checking up on the up-tempo across Twitter. You've got in news today, midseason Naismith watch list. Nalissa Smith was named in women's basketball. Couple other things here. How about we had the Meyer time earlier, Matthew, and that was, yes. This, though, these Texas tweets. We'll start with the Johnny Manziel one. Johnny Manziel tweets, you guys pretty much won the SEC championship, too. Congrats on the same where Texas football's official account posted a picture of the Heisman Trophy that Steve Sarkisian won through Devontae Smith. And then Texas football just tweets it out. And then Johnny Manziel was like, all right, yeah, basically Texas won the SEC championship too, since Sarkisian did. Remember when Sarkisian won 8 games at Washington? That was Texas, basically.
Hey, guys, Texas won an SEC championship before A&M did.
That was good. That was good. What are we paying you? Double it. Double it. How about this? Onward Richardson, Texas football coach Steve Sarkisian on his national championship conference call. This didn't get a lot of attention, but it caught my attention.
It should.
On Twitter. Because, like, what? Now it's Texas writers that are like, look at this guy. This is our guy. Our guy's about to win the national championship. So technically, we all get national championship rings. Congratulations to Texas on a 2.98. What was it? 2.68 cumulative. 2.89 cumulative GPA.
Highest in team history.
Oh my goodness. Chip Gaines' hair last night. Did you see that, Armstrong?
You mentioned it. I didn't get a good look though.
Jury is out. There's a picture right there on Twitter as well.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
a
pull it
Twitter
up.
fiend. Shout out to Chip Gaines for growing the locks out. I know
Is this what you're referring to?
Yeah, we had some differing opinions. I almost didn't recognize him.
I like it. I like it.
There's a lot going on with that. You know who it looks like? You know who it reminds me of?
What?
Chip Gaines. Like that's the single most Chip Gaines you could possibly get.
Looks like he dyed it. He did.
It does look.
But
A little,
looks
I think
like
it's
that.
just the lighting in the Farrells. Look at the BU. The BU is like bright green neon.
The lighting in the
gold.
Farrell Center is trash.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Today, D1 Baseball tweets Steve Rodriguez. The most important thing I told our guys this fall, I want you to make my job hard. I want you to go out there, play well, make things pretty difficult for this coaching staff in the spring. We heard from Steve Rodriguez earlier this week, and he releases that statement via D1 Baseball today on Twitter. Good national attention for Steve Rodriguez and company. Talked about it earlier, Mike Bobo, the new offensive coordinator at Auburn. As they're compiling their staff, Derek Mason has moved into the defensive coordinator position at Auburn as well. So a bunch of hires across the country. I'm interested to see who Steve Sarkisian goes after at Texas, who they're able to hire. We already heard that the offer has been declined by Will Muschamp and that Barry Odom will also not be following Steve Sarkisian to Texas. So they're striking out. Probably not a good sign for Sark as he starts his new job. But you know what? You know how much sympathy I have for that situation?
A lot. Or a big one, I'm guessing, right?
None sympathy. On a scale of 1 to sympathy, it is still 0. And 0 is not even on the scale because it's 1 to sympathy. Today in Celebrity Birthdays, Armstrong Sims plays
I'm really good at these.
himself. Armstrong, if you win this game, I will personally make sure you get a free Sikkim 365 t-shirt, which I don't know that you have. Do you have any merch?
I do. I have a shirt.
We have neglected you from merch standpoint.
Jack the intern is in the house. And
Jack the intern.
He doesn't have a shirt, and he's mad about that.
You know what? Jack can guess this too. I'm fine with Jack. Jack guessing from a distance. He can throw us.
Yeah, Jack the intern.
Jack the intern?
Which he apparently doesn't like that name, so I'm going to keep calling him that.
All right. Happy birthday to Blue Ivy Carter, the daughter of Beyonce and Jay-Z.
She's 6 years old.
She's 9.
Oh.
She's 9. How about Nicolas Cage? Happy birthday to Nicolas Cage,
man.
who attempted to steal the Declaration of Independence.
He successfully stole it.
Yeah, he did.
He is turning 58?
57. You're
Wow.
so good at getting so close.
Wow. I've been
Lamar
one off.
Jackson's birthday is today. Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens.
He's 27.
He's 24. I didn't know he was that young.
Yeah, that's young.
He's got a lot, but he's stunk this season. I drafted him in my fantasy league and wish I would not have. Aloe Black's birthday is today. Brooklyn in the summer.
No
and
idea.
Aloe Black, feel my way through the darkness. That guy. Remember?
Not really.
Wake me up when it's all over.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember him.
Aloe Black. How old is he?
35.
42.
All right.
He
I'm
thank
okay
you for
with
the compliment, though. Borns, Electric Love. Baby, you're like lightning. in a bottle.
That's got to be 30.
Oh, 29.
Wow.
Very close on Borns. Millard Fillmore, President
Millard?
of the United States.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Millard Fillmore.
I have no idea. What was the
Maybe
time
the
period?
most obscure president of the United States. I think he graduated in 1850. I think he was elected in 1850. Maybe. I don't know.
He's got to be, I'm going to say 200 and... You're giving me a look, and I don't know. He's 227 years old.
He's 221.
No way.
Armstrong Sims. Happy birthday to Millard Fillmore today, 221. I am impressed. I am
I'm
impressed.
just doing some math in my head.
Kenny Loggins, Footloose. It's your favorite. That was Kenny Loggins. Footloose. It's your favorite song to dance to at Smiley's or Melody Ranch. How old is Kenny Loggins?
Kenny Loggins is 67.
When I picture Kenny Loggins, I picture the long flowing hair. I feel like he's still a young guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's Kenny Loggins is just ageless, like a Steve Martin kind of deal.
Yeah.
Or who is the Three Amigos that played with Steve Martin? Martin Short. Kenny Loggins is 73 today. That's old. That's older than I thought Kenny Loggins was. Rand
That
Paul.
is old.
Rand Paul's birthday is today. A lot of good birthdays today. Rand Paul.
54.
58. Todd Day played for the Arkansas Razorbacks, eventually an NBA guard. Todd Day was a part of the triplets and took Arkansas to the Final Four under Eddie Sutton in the late 80s. I think I remember that right.
So that would make him 60.
51. 60-50. Hell of a guess, Armstrong. 60-50.
Did I say 60-50?
You did. You said 60-50.
Well, 51. I was close.
Todd Day, 51. John Lester's birthday is today. That's our final celebrity birthday.
John Lester.
John Lester. Not related to Mo.
67. What is? I don't even know who this is.
John Lester's a starting pitcher in the major leagues.
I had
the
no
man
idea.
still plays Major League Baseball, and you just said 67.
Hey, that would be quite an accomplishment.
John, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do with
He's
that.
totally watching.
I don't know what to do with that. John Lester's 37 today. Yeah, he's older. What did you say, 67?
Yeah.
He's a Major League Baseball player. Armstrong, what?
I had no idea who the guy was.
All right, we got to wrap up with this day in sports history. College football, the 15th BCS National Championship, Sun Life Stadium. Alabama beats Notre Dame in what year?
I have no idea.
There are context clues. The 15th BCS National Championship.
So this is 2000 and I don't know. When did the BCS start? I actually don't know that.
we had the 6th and 7th yesterday.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, and those were
the 6th and 7th. Okay, so this is 2012.
13.
All right.
Jeez, you're always so close and just not there.
I have never hit one, I don't think.
How about this? College Football National Championship, Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Number 2, Clemson beats number 1, Alabama.
This was 2019?
2019?
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. And then last but not least, U.S. Female Figure Skating Championship.
Oh, good.
Is won by Tanya Harding.
Okay.
In what year?
84?
94.
Okay.
She's not that old. Not that old.
All right. Sorry, Tanya.
Great day, though.
Good
Perfect
day.
Thursday. Had a lot of great guests today. Excited to have Bruce Geetson and Bob Joyce join us. Felicia Mulkey as well on Up Tempo. I am Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. Tomorrow we got another great list, and we'll break down more about the Baylor offensive coaching hires as the staff comes to fruition in Waco, and a little bit more on recruiting and what the Bears are doing in the offseason right now. Baylor men's basketball won last night. A lot of good things going on this week, and we'll see you tomorrow. Big Friday coming up. The only day better than Friday, though, is Thursday, and what a day it was. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. This has been Up Tempo.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs, too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Cam Heathcott, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs, knowing you. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Cam Heathcott, covering Conroe and Houston, 936-756-7717 or cam.heathcott@edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.